All right, here we go. Back like we never left, the NBA Finals, y'all. Let's start the show. Let's start it. Oh, here we are, man. Been a while. Anything interesting happen in that first game? Right? I mean, we didn't miss like a classic NBA Finals game with that game one, right? Like nothing interesting happened. Like Indiana pulled it off at the end, and now we're sitting here in an NBA Finals where the Indiana Pacers are up 1-0. Who would have thought it? Who would have guessed? What's up, MBM, Lionel Monis, Richie Rich, Justice's dad, of course, Daniel Berry Sports, my guy. Yeah, here we are. So, the Pacers are going to make me root for Isaiah Hartenstein. They're going to make me do that, unfortunately, because we can't have a Pacers championship. We can't have that. The basketball world would be turned upside down. None of it would make sense anymore. By the way, brand new chair. Check out the chair. Brand new chair. You guys have heard me complain about my chair for the last couple of streams. There's the broken chair. Look at it. Look how pathetic it looks. Look how disgusting that chair was that I had to sit in. Right? My back hurts. That was the impetus of me going out and buying a new chair, where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. My back hurts from sitting in this chair. There was essentially no backing anymore. It's pretty much like falling backwards. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It doesn't sit up straight anymore. It hurts to sit in. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is it straight. This is it straight. This is not it leaned back. This is it straight. This is it leaned all the way backwards. I'm essentially laying flat on this chair. It was done. It was time to go. I couldn't do it anymore. My back hurts. I woke up from sitting at the desk the last couple of days in that chair, and my back hurt. It was like, okay, it's time. It's time. It's for a short time. But here we are, y'all. Here we are. Hartenstein will come off the bench yet again. Holmgren wins the tip, and we're off and running. Case and Wallace has it up top. Off the handoff, driving it down against Haliburton, all the way to the basket, lefty layup, got it to go. Okay. I think, obviously, they're going to try and look to attack Haliburton as much as possible coming out of the gate. Haliburton driving it down, kicks it out to Siakam for a three on the right wing, and he gets it to go. Siakam also being a marksman from three, all of a sudden is like, cool. Mayweather, what's up, Mayweather? Taking the serves for a strong win, 7-14 points. I couldn't really root for either of these teams. I was just hoping for a good series. But now I'm rooting for the Thunder, because how dare the Pacers win that first game the way they did against every other team, as Chet Holmgren gets a putback to go. So I'm rooting for the Thunder here. Haliburton driving it down against Wallace, kicks it out. Neesmith, the right corner three. He can't get it to go. Loose ball. J-Dub picks it up, and he's off and running. He's pushing the pace, head down, right into Siakam, kicks it out. Dort, a left corner three. He comes up short on it. He was a marksman in that first game, hit 5 threes. They still lost. Siakam up top to Nembhard. Nembhard coming to his right, being guarded by Wallace. Swings it out to Turner. Turner up top. Directing traffic out to Nembhard. Coming to his left off the Turner screen. Step back, mid-range jumper, gets it to go. Nembhard, insane confidence right now. I don't know if it was coming off of the Knicks series in that game, in Game 6 he had against Jalen Brunson, where he was incredible defensively, and it's helped him kind of step up his defense here. But he has been phenomenal both offensively and defensively. SGA kicks it out to a wide-open Kayson Wallace. Comes up well short. Loose ball, out of bounds off of Chet Holmgren. He can't pull it out. So Haliburton has it up top, coming to his left off the screen. Pocket pass to Turner. Turner in the mid-range. Pump fakes down the lane. Loses the handle off the ball. Now Wallace poked it out of his hands. Can't put the ball on the floor in the paint against these Thunders. Against this Thunder team, man. You can't put the ball on the floor around the Thunder. Haliburton's got to inbound it. Throws it over the top to nobody. Turner's able to save it, though. J-Dub jumps the passing lane, swings it out to Nembhard. Nembhard swings through to his left against Wallace. Gonna dance with it. Coming to his right off the Turner screen. Mid-range pull-up jumper again. Comes up short on that one. Lou Dort skying for the rebound. Here comes SGA. SGA coming to his left off the Dort screen. Driving it down. Back to his right. Kicks it out to Dort. Dort's going to line up a 27-foot three, and he splashes that one. 7-5. 9:30 to go. Okay. Back and forth affair to start. Turner up top, swing through to his left, over the top pass to Siakam. Siakam against SGA, backing him down in the post, backing him down. He's too good. And he pulled the chair out from under him, and it's a travel on Siakam. Great defense from SGA. Who would have thought it? So here's the full court pressure by the Pacers. Lou Dort will bring it down against Siakam. Dort up top, coming to his right, gets it over to J-Dub. J-Dub coming to his left off Dort handoff, pulls it back out as Miles Turner switched onto him. J-Dub's going to lick the dance, gets past the defense, loses the handle on it, turns it over. Here come the Pacers pushing the other way. You need J-Dub to be a lot better than he's been. Cross-court pass over to Nesmith, pump fakes out to Haliburton. Haliburton up top, coming to his right of the screen. They switch it, now out to Nembhard on the right wing. Nembhard coming to his right of the Turner screen, driving it down along the baseline. Leans in, kicks it out to Nesmith in the corner, but gets knocked out of bounds by OKC. You cannot dribble the ball in the paint. They will get their hands in the passing lane, get their hands on your handle on the ball, and it will be either a turnover going the other way or it'll be out of bounds inside, side out. 6 seconds on the shot clock for the Pacers. Nembhard will inbound it. He's got nowhere to go. Now he gets it into Turner. Almost got called for that 5 seconds. Turner hits the floor, gets it out to Siakam. Siakam's got a chuck with the shot clock winding down. He almost got that thing to go in. When did Siakam become a marksman from three, man? He's always obviously been capable from three-point range. But every time this guy shoots it, I feel like it's going in now. He is definitely in a rhythm here in the playoffs. SGA is going to bring it down, 8:30 to go. Against Nembhard. SGA has it up top. He's barely touched it so far here in the early game. Here he is for his first shot. Puts up the mid-range jumper over Haliburton. Gets it to go. Haliburton's going to bring it down against Dort. Coming to his left. Off a double screen. Pass fake. Cross-court pass to Siakam. Siakam swings through to his right along the baseline. Tiptoeing that baseline. Gets it out to Turner for a mid-range jumper off glass. And he banks it in. Purposely. A purposeful banking. David Oz Jr., Mark Gavin. What's up, David? What's up, Mark? J-Dub kicks it out. SGA, a left corner three. As wide open as I've seen SGA all playoffs long. How do you leave that guy? How do you rotate off of SGA, off of the MVP? But nice manipulation from J-Dub to get into the paint and kick it over to his wide open teammate. Nembhard, a right corner three. How do you rotate off of that guy? He was the hero of game one. Okay. Breakdown, defensive breakdown from both sides and back-to-back possessions. J-Dub up top, coming to his left off the Holmgren handoff. Down the lane, gets tied up. Haliburton with a block. Nesmith was there as well. Hit ahead to Siakam, going down against Holmgren. Lefty layup, can't get it to go. A lot of contact, no foul call. Hit ahead to Kason Wallace, we're pushing the other way. Wallace on the left wing, hits it over to Holmgren, trailing down. Euro stepping down the lane, loses the handle, and it's out of bounds. Chet Holmgren, what are you doing, buddy? Get Isaiah Hartenstein in the game. Mark said crazy game one. It was a crazy game one. And I had a feeling it was going to happen, too. Justice's dad. What's up, Justice's dad? No defense so far. Absolutely none. Haliburton a step back three over Dort. He can't get it to go. Fight for the loose ball. J-Dub ends up with it. Hit ahead to SGA. SGA's bringing it down. In transition. He's got space. Knocked out of his hands. And Haliburton has it up top. Coming to his left off the Turner screen. Pass fake. Pump fake. Swings it out to Nembhard. Nembhard up top. Jab step coming to his left off the Turner screen. In the paint. Foul line. Pump fakes. Leans in. Pump fakes again. Draws the foul on Wallace on the second pump fake. Nembhard will go to the foul line for 2 free throws, and we're going to get a Thunder timeout. 6:40 to go. Mark said, we shouldn't feel bad about losing to the Pacers with how good they are this year. I mean, they've definitely hit their stride. They seem to be a team that just peaks in the playoffs. Whatever Rick Carlisle has their mentality as, this team peaks in the playoffs, man. Last year and now this year, a completely different team than they have been in the regular season. You know, they've shown this in the regular season at times, but they haven't been this for the totality of the regular season. You just got to expect that they're going to be there in the end. They are the new Miami Heat. Unfortunately, both of them are Knicks rivals, but they are the new Miami Heat. You know they're just going to turn it up in the playoffs. They're just going to be a completely different team come playoff time. Hey, Hazy said the first game was familiar to Knicks fans. Let's see how it goes. It was familiar to Knicks fans. It was also familiar to Cleveland Cavaliers fans. And it was also familiar to Milwaukee Bucks fans. Every series, they've had a game like this. It was a closeout game against Milwaukee that they pulled off the crazy miracle. And then it was game 3, I believe, where they pulled off the miracle against Cleveland. And then it was obviously game 1 against the Knicks and then game 1 of the finals against the Thunder. So they're just the team of destiny, man. They're a miracle team. They're pulling it off. They're pulling it off. I got to give them credit there. They're pulling it off. They're going to actually make me root for the Thunder because they can't keep getting away with this. Right? I came into the series, obviously, as a Knicks fan, with the mentality of, all right, give me a good series. Let's watch some fun, entertaining basketball. And then after what they pulled off in game 1, after what they pulled off in the first 3 series, I was like, no, they can't keep getting away with this. They are not the best team in the league. They cannot win the championship. So now I have to root for the Thunder. So now I'm rooting for the Thunder, or more specifically, I'm rooting for the Pacers to lose. Just that, it sucks the Pacers will win, but F. Harnstein for real. Yeah. I hope everybody but Isaiah Harnstein plays well and beats the Pacers. Sean Collins, what's up, Sean? Missed the Knicks, man. Who are you thinking for the new coach? Johnny B? Yeah, there's a lot of swirling around the Knicks head coach situation. We'll get to it in 1 second. We will get to it. But I want to talk a little bit more about this game before we get into Knicks talk. Because it will come up. The Knicks talk will come up. But my leader still remains Johnny Bryant. But there have been some interesting reports and rumors flying about the Knicks head coaching vacancy. So we'll get to it. My first choice is still Johnny Bryant. It was Johnny Bryant when it initially happened. It was Johnny Bryant before Tibbs was even fired. It still remains Johnny Bryant. I would still believe in that guy. But some interesting things have occurred. Some interesting points have been raised. And we'll talk about it. Just Dead said, we are in the middle of the Pacers miracle. We are, man. We are. This is crazy. This is insane, man. This is insane. David said Jason Kidd and Giannis coming. There was a report that came out that said Dallas is likely to decline the Knicks' request to interview Jason Kidd, and there was also a report that came out that said Giannis has informed the Bucks that he would like to come back and not to be traded. So I don't know how, as Nemhard misses a free throw, I don't know how truthful the Giannis thing is in terms of like how truthful that report is that he wants to go back to Milwaukee, but I do think it deserves to be mentioned. It's highly unlikely he comes to the Knicks. So we'll leave it at that. SGA up top as Nemhard did knock down the second free throw. Being guarded by Nemhard. Coming to his right off a double screen. Mathurin is in the game. Harnstein is in the game. SGA is looking to dance. Coming to his right. Mid-range. Pump fake. Puts up the jumper. Draws the foul. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Mark Haven said, I just don't like Haliburton. It's very difficult to like Haliburton for anybody. David said, I give the Pacers credit, but we lost first 2 at MSG. We killed ourselves. We did. I mean, but at some point it becomes a pattern with the Pacers. They pulled it off at least once in every series, a miracle. So, you know, it is what it is. Mark said, I want to see the OKC revenge admittedly, but I like Siakam. Siakam's good, man. He's fun to watch, but I just can't root for this yellow-ass Pacers, man. It's difficult to root for them. Very difficult. SGA split a pair of free throws. SGA missing free throws. What's going on there, buddy? Haliburton gets it over to Turner. Turner steps back for a straightaway three of Harnstein. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Nembhard comes flying in for the rebound. Out to Mathurin. Cross court to Haliburton. Haliburton catches, pump fakes, into Dort, draws the foul on the floor. David said, I heard Dallas was leaving the decision to Kidd. A new report, that was the initial report. A new report came out that said Dallas is likely to decline the Knicks' request to interview him. I believe it was from Vincent Goodwill, who has a pretty decent track record. You know, obviously nobody has a perfect track record, but he's trustworthy source there. We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't think they formally have issued their request, but we'll see if that happens as the Pacers turn it over. J-Dub gets it over to SGA, has it up top. They're going to slow it down instead of trying to push it in transition. SGA down the lane, leaves it off to Wallace. Wallace almost got stripped. The ball's still loose. Wallace falls on the floor. Nembhard's on him. And Nembhard was out of bounds when he was touching the ball. So ball's going to stay with the Thunder here. Just Dad said, the NHL games have been crazy good. I have not kept track of any of the NFL games. Any of the hockey games. Because the Rangers aren't involved. So, I'm not going to lie. I have not been paying attention to it at all. Caruso comes into the game. Toppin comes into the game. Vertify, what's up, Vertify? Namar, what's up, Namar? Thoughts on the Knicks looking at Jason Kidd? We'll talk about it more, but I'm not a big fan of Jason Kidd. I wouldn't hate the hire, but I'm not a big fan of it. They swing it out to Caruso. He mishandled the pass. Now he's going to set his feet, fire from three over Obi Toppin. Can't get it to go. Haliburton with the rebound, and he shot out of a cannon, pushing it the other way. Over to Mathurin, back to Haliburton. A deep 30-foot three. Can't get it to go. SGA with the rebound. 13-11. This is not a good sign for the Thunder. As SGA drives it into Toppin in the paint, pump fake. Brother, you just got to look for a basket, man. They kick it out to Caruso, another three for Caruso. He does get that one to go down. It's a 5-point game. Thunder doing a pretty damn good job of holding the Pacers down defensively here. They get it into Toppin, and Toppin gets ran into by Caruso. It's a foul on the floor. Side out of bounds for the Pacers. Kay Hazy said, I wonder what the issue is with Bryant. Is he just too young or what? Yeah, there was a interesting, I don't know if it was a report, but interesting remarks. I believe it was from Begley. I think it was from a beat reporter who said that the Knicks are really interested in getting a veteran head coach and not putting that kind of insane pressure on as Mathurin knocks down a right corner three. Geez, falling out of bounds. The Knicks don't really want to put championship or bust expectations on a rookie head coach. Like, that's a rough situation to put him in the pressure cooker that is New York. But they may not have much of a choice. Their options of their dream choices are kind of running thin as Lou Dort fires a straightaway three, well contested, way off. Here comes Nembhard pushing the other way, has it up top, being guarded by Caruso, 4:12 to go. Out to Mathurin, coming to his left off the Turner screen. Stop, turn, spin, kicks it out to Turner, pass fake, they leave him wide open, straightaway three, comes up short on it. Caruso with the rebound, here he comes. And he shot out of a cannon, bringing it down, attacking to the paint, gets it knocked out of his hands. It's going to stay with the Thunder. That's just a tough shot from Mathurin. They're showing the replay in the Mathurin three in the right corner. Fading out of bounds, off the catch, running to that corner. With a good SGA contest, it did not matter. They get it into Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe over to Harnstein. Harnstein up top. Pass fake. Driving it down against Thomas Bryant. Putting his head down. Bully ball to the paint. Lefty layup. Can't get it to go, but a foul on Thomas Bryant. So Harnstein's going to the foul line with 2 free throws. Namar said, do you think the Timberwolves will let us look at Chris Finch? No, I don't think any of these teams with really good head coaches will allow the Knicks to interview their head coach for their head coaching job. I do not see any of that happening. There was a report that said, here we are talking about the Knicks, as always. I do love it. I want to pay attention to this game as much as possible, but I do love the Knicks talk as Harnstein knocks down a free throw. I'm going to try and do both. There was an interesting report that came out that said that the way the Knicks are tackling this head coaching search is that they made a list of their dream head coaching hires, whether it's realistic or not, and then they will attempt to, as Harnstein misses the second one, McConnell with the rebound, they will attempt to make that a possibility, as unrealistic as it might be, we'll attempt to make it happen, right? So we'll attempt to make Ime Udoka happen. Toppin knocks down a left corner three. My goodness, man, this Pacers team. Jeez Louise. Right? So Ime Udoka is not going to happen. They tried it. Chris Finch is not going to happen. They'll try it. Jason Kidd, probably not going to happen, but they'll try it. And it's like, okay, I respect that attempt, but it's unlikely to happen. Obi Toppin taking Hartenstein off the bounce, gets blocked by Holmgren at the rim, and it goes out of bounds. It's going to remain with the Pacers. Going to this double big lineup, I think the Thunder have to do this a little bit more often, man. You got to go double big a little bit more often. With the versatility of Hartenstein and Holmgren, both of them have good versatility. You got to go double big. And we're going to get a timeout here, actually. Tied at 17. This is not a good sign for the Thunder. Tied at 17. I don't think you want a close game against this Pacers team, man. It allows them to pull off the miracle that they have been pulling off all playoffs long. Mayweather said Spike Lee to become the head coach. Oh, God. You ever heard Spike Lee talk about basketball? That man does not know, but he's watching. He's a huge fan, but he does not know ball at all. Vertify said, I think we are not a top-tier team, so the coach can help. I do think the Knicks are a top-tier team. They were one of the 4 teams remaining. The East is wide open going into next year. It is a desirable job. You have one of the best players, one of the 7 best players in the league in Brunson. You have one of the best centers in the league in Towns. You have very versatile wings in Anunoby, Bridges, and Hart. You have young players you could develop between Dottier, McCullough, Hugporty, and Kolek. They're going to have another pick coming in this year, probably just a mid to late second-round pick, but we'll see what they do with it. There's really interesting things going on with this team. I do think it's a very desirable job. Like, I think if the Rockets were like, yeah, Ime Udoka, go ahead, interview with the Knicks, and then make your decision, I think Ime Udoka would choose the Knicks over the Rockets. I do think that. Because the Knicks have a bona fide star, while the Rockets are in a spot that's going to be really tricky to work out of, which is finding the go-to guy, unless Şengün or Amin Thompson develops into that go-to guy. If you're Ime Udoka, going into the Knicks, which has legitimate championship aspirations and a legitimate championship chance, would be much more enticing, which is why the Rockets were like, no. You're not interviewing our coach. It's not happening. Because we're not taking that chance of him going, yeah, I want to go to New York. I'd rather be in New York than Houston. It's not happening. Lana Mona said, how exciting is the NBA Finals so far? It's a 10 out of 10, brother. It is a 10 out of 10. Jay Hazy said, Thunder been getting a little lazy? I don't know if they're lazy. I think the Pacers are an incredible offensive team. I do think their offense, the Pacers have done a really good job of dictating how the Thunder are going to play offense. And it's not been great. Has not worked out great for them. What if I said offer the job to Allen Houston? Brother, what part of Allen Houston makes you think that guy even has a dream of being a head coach in the NBA? Namar said, Wade, story Rick Brunson true that has been covered on ESPN. It's kind of a backcourt violation on Haliburton. It's kind of been pushed back on by, I don't know how true it is. We've talked about, just because it comes from ESPN, ESPN is 1,000% an entertainment business at this point. They have fired some of their best reporters. There's still some really good reporters there, but they have fired some of their best reporters. Like, they are not interested in legitimate journalism at all. They want entertainment. and funny YouTube shorts. That's what they're into. Haliburton turned it over, and then Isaiah Joe can't knock down the three. Here comes McConnell. McConnell over to Toppin, over to Haliburton, coming to his right, a pull-up three. And he knocks it down. Isaiah Joe up top to Harnstein. Hits Isaiah Joe, cutting back door, reverse layup. Isaiah Joe got it to go down. Tough move from Isaiah Joe. Haliburton up top, being guarded by Joe. Quick crossover to his left. Driving it down. Spins to his right. Mid-range follow-away jumper over Joe. Can't get it to go. Good defense from Joe. Good contest. Here comes SGA bringing it down. Neesmith meets him at half court. Coming to his left. Good screen from Harnstein back there. SGA kicks it out to Holmgren. Holmgren catches. Pump fakes. Sidestep threes. Go to the basket, brother. Didn't matter. He knocked down the three anyway. What do I know? Foot was on the line, so it's a two, actually. So it's 21-20. They retake the lead. We're under 2 minutes to go. And then Harnstein fouls Toppin on the floor. Fouls Toppin going to the basket. Oh, no, it's on the floor. It is on the floor. Mayweather said, do you have a fave NFL team? I do not, actually. I actually do not. Incredible casual here. Incredibly huge casual football fan. I am not passionate about any football team. When I was a kid, it used to be the Titans because I loved Eddie George and playing with him. But that's it. That's it. And then I like playing with Chris Johnson. I like the running back. So, you know. Nembhard, a right corner three. He can't get it to go. Isaiah Joe with the rebound. You got to build up a little bit of breathing room here if you're OKC. Right? You got to get some breathing room here in this first quarter. Harnstein hands it off to Joe. Joe coming to his right, puts up the three. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. No Aaron Wiggins in this series. Which is crazy. Can Aaron Wiggins be stolen from a competing team? Thomas Bryant puts up the three. He can't get it to go. If some of these crazy threes from the Pacers stop falling, Thunder could look to make a bit of a run here. SGA pump fakes, puts up the floater, can't get it to go. This guy is so busy trying to draw these fouls, man, that he is messing up his own shot. Neesmith can't get the three to go. Chet Holmgren with the rebound, and then he gets fouled by Thomas Bryant. The ball's going to go the other way. That's at 13 threes. They are launching them, man. Namar said, thoughts on Jackson Dart? I don't really have good thoughts on Jackson Dart, man. I really don't. I hope he's good. I hope he's going to get a chance this year at some point, right? Because Giants are not going to be good. But hopefully he's good, man. Hopefully he's the answer. Because I'd like a good New York team. I would. I wouldn't call myself a fan of either of those teams, but I would like a good New York team. As SGA drives it in, finds the wide open Chet Holmgren as he knocks down the three. There you go. I think it is very imperative for the Thunder to build a bit of some breathing room here, man. They got a 4-point lead. They get one more stop, one more score, and get it up to 26 or 20, 6 or 7 point lead. I'd consider that a successful first quarter for them. McConnell pull-up jumper over Holmgren, can't get it to go. Here comes SGA bringing it down the other way. They got the stop. Now get the score. SGA coming to his left off the Harnstein screen. Shoves off on Neesmith, a step back three. Can't get it to go down. Fight for the loose ball. And the Pacers can't hold on to it. It's out of bounds. The Thunder will have the final shot of the quarter. Heard if I said you can send your resume to Leon. I should send my resume to Leon. Although I've told you guys before, I don't fancy myself a good head coach. I think I'd be an excellent assistant coach. But here's the thing. And this is something that's interesting about the last... Actually, let's cover this last play, and then I'll tell you what I think. They get it in the Holmgren, catches, pump fakes, driving it down to the basket, scoop layup, gets it to go. And there's the 6-point lead. Nembhard will bring it down, but he's got 10 seconds. Nembhard against SGA. Nembhard coming to his left. In the mid-range, pump fakes, leaves it off. Siakam wide open, doesn't get it off in time. There you go. He did knock down the three, but he didn't get it off in time. So end of the first quarter, 26-20. Very low-scoring game. Chi-Chi, what's up, Chi-Chi? Birdbite said, put in PJ Tucker as player coach. Birdbite said, love Dart for New York. I mean, you have to. If you're a New York Giants fan, you have to love Dart. You have to. He is your hope. David said, what do you think about Knicks partying hard after the loss and holding NBA Finals 2026 towels? Um, yeah, man. I mean, they got something in mind. Season ended. They had an end of the season kind of wrap up party. Makes sense because going into next year, it is unlikely that a lot of the role players aren't going to be around. Like, Campaign's probably out. DeLon Wright is probably out. We already know Precious Achiuwa is going to be out. Landry Shamet is probably out. Like, these guys are not coming back. And then, let alone whatever trades this front office may decide to make. You know, apparently there have been some rumors flying around that the Knicks are looking to make big moves this offseason. We do not know. We do not know. So their mentality as players, knowing that this is a business, knowing that Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle were just shipped out last offseason, so anybody can go, anything could happen. Hey, man, let's get together one last time. Let's celebrate it. We accomplished something really, really great this year. We didn't meet our goals, but on to the next one, right? Great end of the year wrap up. Great end of the year wrap up. Gigi said, OG and Bridges were prolific scorers in their respective teams. There's no reason as to why they can't get it done here. All Brunson needs to do is be a better teammate and share the ball. Depends on the offense, brother. Number one, neither of those guys were prolific scorers. So he just made that up. That's not true. OG Anunoby was not a prolific scorer in Toronto. As a matter of fact, he started to get frustrated in Toronto with his lack of shot attempts. He was not a prolific scorer in Toronto whatsoever. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. He had a prolific scoring 20-game stretch after the Kevin Durant trade, and he went to Brooklyn. He had a prolific scoring run there. And then the following season, last season, he averaged like 22 a game and did it on poor efficiency. So no, he was not a prolific scorer whatsoever. Whatsoever. Those guys they're extremely high-level role players. That's what they are. It is up to the coach and the point guard in tandem to figure out how to involve those guys more, and more specifically the coach. Because the offense that Tom Thibodeau was employing was give the ball to Jalen Brunson at this part of the court and get the hell out of his way, he'll make a play. Or give the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns in this part of the court and get the hell out of his way and he'll make a play. Whether it's to pass it to you or to score. Right? And both of those players' inclinations are to score first. And they're pretty damn good at it. So good, in fact, that they made it to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. But you need a coach to come in here and give this team an opportunity to play with some creative offensive freedom. Tom Thibodeau did not do that, which is probably the main point. Probably the main point about why Tom Thibodeau is no longer the head coach of this team. George Rodriguez, what's up, George? In your opinion, will Cat be gone? I think there's a 90% chance that Karl-Anthony Towns will be back on the Knicks next year. I think the 10% chance that he's traded is if it's for Giannis. And I don't think the Giannis trade is happening. I think it's a very low chance that the Giannis trade happens. We come out, Nembhard misses a step-back three. J-Dub bringing it down, out to Aaron Wiggins. He spins in the lane, puts it above glass, gets it to go. I don't know why Aaron Wiggins is not like their just true go-to sixth man. I do not understand that. Aaron Wiggins is very good at basketball. He is the man who saved the basketball. Let Aaron Wiggins hoop, man. Get Isaiah Joe out of there. I like Isaiah Joe, but get him out of there. Nembhard has it up top. Coming to his left off the Turner screen. Cross-court pass, McConnell. Corner, three, over Wallace. Splashes it. Maybe just close out hard on him. That man has been splashing threes these last couple of games, going back to the Knicks series. J-Dub has it up top. Down the lane, scoop lay with the right hand, got it to go, and a blocking foul on TJ McConnell. They give him the and one, so he's going to get the 3 points right back. At least he should. At least he should. Gigi said, you get my point. Yeah, but you're giving a moniker to players who did not have that moniker in order to prove a point that I think is overemphasized. Right? I don't think the offense was bad because Jalen Brunson plays the way he plays. I think the offense was bad because Tom Thibodeau did not recognize the importance of spreading out the team in order to give players more opportunities. Mathurin up top coming to his right. J-Dub did knock down his free throw. Mathurin, a fall-away mid-range jumper off the back rim, can't get it to go. And I did talk about how if the Pacers stopped missing some of these shots, as Siakam gets called for a goaltend on a Caruso layup, and it's now an 11-point lead, right? We did talk about how if some of these crazy threes that the Pacers were hitting, especially from their role players, stopped going down, what would happen? This is what would happen. Lead is starting to expand here for OKC. They got to continue to push it, man. They got to continue to push it. Turner up top, and he almost threw it away. He does throw it away. Wallace picks it up out to Caruso. Caruso's going to bring it down against Nembhard. Euro steps, draws another foul. No, they call the offensive foul on Caruso. They call a charge on Caruso. Charlie B. Cruz, what's up, Charlie? Just Dad said OG is being shopped, I believe. He's not being shopped. He is, he would be, because of the contract he has, he would be in trades that would include Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo. So he's not being shopped. The Knicks aren't like, hey, if you guys are interested in OG, come grab OG. They're like, no, if we can get Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo, we would trade OG Anunoby to get them. He is not being shopped. Turner in the paint against Hartenstein goes up, gets the layup to go. Turner exposing Isaiah Hartenstein's defense, a tale as old as time. Continues to happen, time and time again. Oops, 2 points to the wrong side. Hartenstein turns it over to McConnell, a terrible pass. Leave it off for Mathurin. Mathurin gets the layup to go. Back to a 6-point game because Isaiah Hartenstein's terrible. Get him out of the game, man. Get him out of the game. J-Dub driving it down in the paint, kicks it out to Caruso. Caruso, right corner three. He's been active here to start this second quarter. Hartenstein, an offensive rebound, and he throws up a wild shot. Can't get it to go. J-Dub with the tip. He can't get it to go. Fight for the loose ball, and McConnell saves it over to Nembhard. Here comes Nembhard bringing it down. Nembhard gets it knocked out of his hands. Caruso dives for it. Nembhard able to pick it up. They get it over to Mathurin. Cross-court pass to McConnell. McConnell catches, sets his feet. They give him the space. He fires. He can't get it to go. Aaron Wiggins with a good box down and rebound. Under 9 to go. J-Dub has it up top. High Vibe, what's up, High Vibe? J-Dub, mid-range pull-up jumper, rattles it in. When J-Dub has a good game, the Thunder win. It is truly sometimes that simple. When J-Dub has a good game, the Thunder usually win. Just that said, OG will play way less with a different coach? No. He will remain in the 35 to 40 minute per game range. He is that damn important to the team. He will not be playing less. The guy who will be playing less, his name is Josh Hart. That's the guy who will be playing less. Also, Mikal Bridges would also be playing less. OG, I don't know if you guys understand how important OG Anunoby is. The reason why the Knicks weren't a bottom 10 defensive team in the league this year is because of OG Anunoby. That's the reason. That's the number one reason. You guys are highly underestimating who OG Anunoby is. High Vibe said OG and Cat for Giannis and Connaughton. The Pacers. Why would the Bucks do that? Why would the Bucks do that? Just that said, I would love to have KD and Cat as much as you wouldn't. I would like to have KD and Cat. That'd be cool. But the process of getting Kevin Durant on this team is very difficult. Very difficult. Also, why would the Phoenix Suns trade Kevin Durant for OG Anunoby? Why would they do that? Why would the Phoenix Suns do that? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? OG Anunoby just inked a brand new 5-year, $212 million contract. Kevin Durant's contract is up soon. Why would they? Do you think they value OG Anunoby more than they value Kevin Durant and his trade value? High Vibe said plus picks. What picks, High Vibe? They traded all the picks for Bridges. Also, why would the Bucks want the Knicks picks? The Knicks don't have any picks, but even if they had picks, why would the Bucks want the Knicks picks? They're going to be in the mid to low 20s for the rest of the remainder of the decade. Why would they want the Knicks picks? The Knicks picks are valueless, right? If you have a really good team competing for a championship and you're trading me one of the best players in the league, then your pick is valueless. I don't want your pick. It would have to be a 3 or 4 team deal where the Bucks get picks from another team. Well, why would the other team send picks to the Bucks to facilitate a trade to send Giannis over to the Knicks? It is not happening. The Knicks don't have picks. You don't just get picks. You don't just get an infinite amount of picks to trade. That does not happen. That said KD will probably play half the season or so. Yeah, he'd play half the season. The other half he'd spend hurt, and then while he's actually playing, he'll complain and be miserable the whole time and tank the team because that's what he always does because he's a career loser. Gigi said Giannis is not worth all of that. If the Lakers got Luka for AD and a bag of chips, why give so much for Giannis? If the Knicks had an Anthony Davis level player to trade for Giannis, the Bucks would highly consider that, brother. Why did you just say Anthony Davis as if he's like a cool all-star player? That guy has top 5 MVP finishes in his career. One of the 10 best players in the league. And Luka is not at the level of Giannis. Giannis has 2 MVPs and a championship and a finals MVP on his resume. Luka has none of that. As awesome as Luka is. Charlie said, for me, I say no to KD. Most of the time not available and don't have defense too. And he's going to be 37 years old next year. I'm good. I've been good. Get KD out of here. Here we go. We're back into it. Nembhard has it on the left wing. The Thunder are back up by 8. Toppin hands it off to Siakam. Siakam coming to his right. Holmgren switches on him. They got Hartenstein out of there. Thank God. Siakam, a mid-range pull-up jumper, can't get it to go. J-Dub with the rebound. I thought Hartenstein was horrendous. Home run pass to Holmgren. Holmgren has it on the left wing. Up top to J-Dub. Catches it on the run. Down the lane. Scoop layup. Gets blocked by Siakam. And then McConnell picks up the loose ball. Hit ahead to Toppin. Toppin throws it over the top to Mathurin. He's going to step back to the left corner. Holmgren comes out to contest. Mathurin on the left wing. Attacking to his right. Kicks it out to Toppin. Toppin catches. Pump fakes. One dribble. Step back. 3. Comes up short. Holmgren skying for a rebound. Big rebound from Holmgren. Holmgren's having a good game so far. That guy, Hartenstein, did not. Love to see it. Holmgren almost turns it over. Dives on it. Picks it up. Is on the floor. Able to save it out to Wiggins. Wiggins on the left wing. Step back. 3 over Toppin. There you go, Aaron Wiggins. Yes, sir. The man who saved basketball, man. Aaron Wiggins. Love to see it. David said AD and Kid for Cat. I don't even know what that means. Kenrich Williams out to J-Dub. J-Dub gets fouled by T.J. McConnell, and he's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws off another turnover from the Pacers. David said OKC's rolling. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Love to see it. Nick Yak, what's up, Yak? KD, no. Thank you, Yak. I need somebody with sense in here. We got people talking about trade this guy for that guy, trade that guy for this guy. Bring in Kevin Durant. Go trade the farm for Giannis. Finally, somebody with some sense, Nick Yak. Welcome to the party, brother. GG said OG and Cat is too much. For Giannis? Brother, I'd trade my firstborn son for Giannis. Giannis is, at worst, the 3rd best player in the NBA. At best, he might be the best player in the NBA at best. But we're not getting Giannis, so the whole Giannis talk is mute to me. It's not happening. He's already talked about how he'd like to stay in Milwaukee. And we'll see if that remains the case. But as of right now, that's where we stand. J-Dub knocked down both free throws. Toppin to the rim. Can't knock down the reverse layup. Mathurin mistimed his jump. Kenrich Williams picks it up. Here comes Aaron Wiggins. In and out dribble. Driving it down inside the Williams. Kenrich Williams inside the Holmgren. And he's going to get a 2-handed slam. And it's suddenly a 15-point lead for the Thunder. And you like to see it. You do enjoy seeing the Thunder dominate the Pacers a little bit. I do think this is how the series should go. I think nothing would make sense anymore if the Pacers beat the Thunder because they're not the best team in the league. They're not even one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the league. But they're in the finals. So you kind of have to treat them as if they're the 2nd best team in the league. But the Thunder are clearly a better team. They have been a better team all year long. But, David said, I'd trade Brunson for Giannis. Yeah, I get why you would do that. I do think there's more value in keeping the guy who is the face of your franchise. Giannis is the better player, and in 2K, yes, you trade Brunson for Giannis 10 times out of 10. But I do think that there's value that Brunson holds in New York for the Knicks that Giannis would not hold as a hired mercenary in a trade. So you cannot do that. Cannot make that trade. David said, never say never. You said Tibbs was safe. I said Tibbs was safe for one reason and one reason only. And I went over this in our Tom Thibodeau was fired special show. I said Tibbs was safe for one reason and one reason only, and that was because I did not believe Leon Rose had it in him to fire his close friend in a season in which Tom Thibodeau exceeded expectations and got this team to the conference finals. I did not believe he had it in him to do that. I was clearly wrong about Leon Rose. I told you I would fire Tom Thibodeau. Right? I would have moved on from Tom Thibodeau after the year that he had. I thought he did a very poor job. But I didn't think Leon Rose had it in him to do that. He clearly does. That man is a man on a mission. And I respect that. I said we thought the Cavs were good and we see what happens to them. We always had this conversation. A lot of us had this feeling that this Cavs team isn't that good, man. Like they are a regular season team. They are a team that we've seen fold in the playoffs year after year after year. 3 years in a row now. Started with the Knicks. They lost to the Celtics last year with a lot of injuries, and then they folded this year to the Pacers in 5 games. A very, very sad 5 games. So. Chi-Chi said, trade Mitch to the Lakers for Reeves. Why would you do that, Chi-Chi? What does Austin Reeves solve for this team? Another undersized guard who can't play defense. Do you want the worst defense in the league? You are not winning a championship with the worst defense in the league, Chi-Chi. You got to get off this Mitchell Robinson thing. If you are trading Mitchell Robinson, it is for either a better center or a defensive wing that could change the dynamic of your team in the same vein that OG Anunoby did, right? But you kind of already have OG Anunoby. So why would you trade Mitchell Robinson for another player who is not going to have the ball in his hands as much playing alongside Brunson and Towns and also can play defense? He is the worst defender on that Lakers team. He gets with Luka, a team with Luka and a 40-year-old LeBron. He is worse defender than both of those guys. He is the guy who gets targeted on defense time and time again. Here we go. We're back into it. Neesmith down the lane. Scoop layup over Holmgren. He got it to go. SGA is back in along with Haliburton. SGA up top being guarded by Mathurin. Coming to his right. Quick crossover to his left on Mathurin. Kicks it over to a wide open Holmgren who's going to pump fake. One dribble, mid-range pull-up jumper. Can't get it to go. I think I would have just rather see Holmgren shoot that 3, man. Dangerous pass and another turnover. Why would you throw that pass, Haliburton? Terrible decision. Wiggins has it, dancing with it, kicks it out to Kenrich Williams, hands it off to SGA. SGA up top, pass fake, dancing with it against Mathurin now. Up top, dancing with it, trying to find space, step back, mid-range fall-away jumper, splashes it, nothing but net. Stop with them pump fakes, SGA. Just shoot that shot, man. That's your go-to shot. 15-point lead remains for the Thunder here. Haliburton up top, dancing with it against Holmgren on a switch. Coming to his right, behind the back, leans in, kicks it out, almost turns it over, out of bounds, and he did turn it over. 6 turnovers for Indiana now. Yeah, I said Mitch haters don't care, just one Mitch traded. Makes no sense. Why would you trade the guy who, in combination with OG Anunoby, would help this team stay afloat defensively for a guy who can't play defense? What kind of decision is that, man? It's a terrible trade idea. SGA down the lane, gets it to go off glass. And he got fouled. Didn't even hear the whistle. And he got fouled. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. AP, what's up, AP? What did I miss? The Thunder kind of starting to build up the lead a little bit here, starting to dominate a bit. SGA just got an and one. He's going to the foul line for one more. It is what, a 17-point lead with the possibility of it being 18? AB said, honestly, I just want to see what the team looks like with the new coach. Me too, man. Me too. I talked about during the season, and even as the season was winding down, as they were losing to the Pacers, how we talked about what are the ways that this team could improve. The number one way this team could improve is bringing in a head coach that fits this team better than Tom Thibodeau, right? Stop all the wild trade speculations and whatnot and overhauling the roster that does not need to be happening. They were just in the conference finals despite a head coach that did not maximize this team, this roster whatsoever. And they would still made it to the conference finals. They can make it further with a better head coach and a better supporting cast. Neesmith down the lane, can't knock down the floater. Hartenstein with the rebound. Here comes Aaron Wiggins. Wiggins on the left wing, coming to his right off a Dort screen. Has it up top, being guarded by Haliburton. He's going to look to dance. Step back left wing three, had Haliburton leaning. Oh, Aaron Wiggins. One of my favorite role players in the league. Knocks down the step back three, giving them a 21-point lead. Turner inside to Siakam. It's a turnover. And here comes the Thunder Avalanche. 17-2 run for the Thunder. SGA down the lane gets fouled by Siakam. And here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here comes the OKC Avalanche. 50-29. And this is what I expected game one to be. Yak said we need a backup power forward. Yeah. I think a solid, it could be Hug Porty. Hug Porty's, is more of a center, obviously, but as SGA drives the lane and gets a layup to go and a timeout from the Pacers, as this has exploded up to 23. This has exploded up to 23. Lionel said, we just need a solid bench. The issue with a sentiment like that, Lionel, you're not wrong. Let me say that. You're not wrong. But the issue with me, when I see a sentiment like that, is we had an okay bench. It wasn't the greatest bench in the world. We waited for forever for Mitchell Robinson to come back, who shored up a lot of the bench. Deuce McBride was kind of up and down in his first full season as a backup. But Tom Thibodeau also never used them. Never used them in optimal roles. Never used them in an optimal position. And so that's kind of what you get, right? It's kind of what you get. You don't use the bench. Oh, they didn't come through for us when we needed them most. But the crazy thing is they kind of did. They kind of did. When Tom Thibodeau was trying to save his job by just going back on everything he believed in and everything he did during the regular season, and it actually worked out the way we all anticipated it would work out. Like, hey, Shamit's not so bad that he should be banished to the Shadow Realm. Like, you're wrong about that. Right? And he comes through for us in the playoffs. Plays pretty well in that Pacers series. Same with DeLon Wright. Like, hey, how come DeLon Wright isn't playing over Campaign in these playoffs when you need defense more than Campaign's offense, which he's not providing you any offense anyway? And he comes through for us. And he comes through for us. So we had bench pieces. They just weren't utilized at all. So, yes, I would like an upgrade over Shamit, an upgrade over Campaign and DeLon Wright, if we can acquire that. But call a moving screen on Turner, man. Call a moving screen on Turner. Off of a timeout. AB said, now that I have no interest, I honestly believe the Knicks are a good team. I don't think they need a superstar. They need a couple of role players. We need a 6-game improvement. Your most rational take, AP. Most rational take of all time, AP. I love it. I love it. Nemhard gets the steal and a Euro step finish. Yeah, look, man, with no Tom Thibodeau, they have to nail this head coaching hire. They have to do a good job next year. SGA's dancing with it, almost loses it. Kenrich Williams picks it up. It's got to come down to the coach next year because it's likely going to be the only major change they make to the roster. They're going to pick up a couple of veteran role guys on the minimum yet again because they're approaching that second apron. As who is that? Kenrich Williams comes flying in for an offensive rebound over to Harnstein. Harnstein kicks it out. Aaron Wiggins wide open left corner three. Well short. Harnstein had it, lost it. Kenrich Williams picks it up. Back out to Aaron Wiggins. He almost turns it over. Back over to SGA, but he was in the backcourt when he called it. The ball is going to go back to the Pacers. I'm excited for next year. We finally don't have war criminal Tom Thibodeau holding the offense back, so I'm excited. David said Grimes and Yabusele would be good this summer. Grimes is not coming back, brother. Yabusele would be nice, but he is under contract, and there's no reason for the 76ers to look to trade him. Yak said, I have Huck Porty as a Mitch backup and Cat at the 4 needing his backup, or Huck and Precious and some power forward, some center. Precious is not coming back as Siakam drives it in and gets an and one layup to go. Pacers, the Thunder have to be careful here, man. This is a comeback team of the likes that they have not seen yet. So they got to be careful against this Pacers team. Yak, with the Precious is not coming back. He's also not a power forward. He has no power forward skills. Get him out of there. Huck is also not a power forward, but Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be your 4. If they keep Mitchell Robinson and start Mitchell Robinson, we'll see what the next head coach decides to do. Could decide to start Karl-Anthony Towns at 5 and actually put Deuce McBride in at the starting 2 guard instead of Josh Hart, but, we'll see. The ball gets poked away by Nembhard. Yak said, Precious is most likely gone. Does Leon think he was misused? I don't think Precious was misused at all. I think Precious is not a very good basketball player. He's got some skills, but he's got a lot of deficiencies, and it makes it very difficult to find the right lineups in order for him to play. Siakam kicks it out to Nembhard. Nembhard has it up top. Over to Siakam. Siakam's driving it in against Caruso, blows past him, gets the ready layup to go. Terrible defense from Caruso there, something you rarely say. 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Maybe said some people are actually blaming Rick Brunson. I don't get that at all. Me either, man. Me either. SGA kicks it out to a wide open J-Dub. Can't get it to go. Turner with the rebound. It's a 16-point game, man. The Thunder take it over to Neesmith, the right corner 3. Gets it to go. It's a 13-point game. Just like that. Just like that. This Pacers team, man. This Pacers team. They got some double magic in them. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. 25-26 said, or 26 now. 25 is over. The dream of 25 is over. Knicks will be 26 champs. Precious wasn't hardly used because he's not very good at basketball. That's why he was hardly used. He's not very good at basketball. Mike, what's up, Mike? Back to what AP said about people are blaming Rick Brunson. Yeah, I don't understand that whatsoever. I think that are some national reporters making generalizations of what it's like to have a father in a workplace for one of the star employees, I guess. But all the beat reporters are like, nobody has a negative thing to say about Rick Brunson so far in his tenure here with the Knicks. So take that for what you will. Y'all see the tan coming up? Y'all see the tan? Look at this. Disgusting. I got to get the arms out. I got to get the guns out in the sun. Disgusting. 25-26. Not 25. I forget. You changed the name up. 26 champs said Precious played decent defense on Siakam in his limited role. Yeah, those are one of the things he can do well. He can match up well against 6'8" forwards who like to play off the dribble. He can match up decently with Siakam. Can't really do anything else. Can't catch the ball. Can't finish the ball. Can't finish plays. Is not a very good passer. Is a whatever kind of rebounder. His SGA drives it down, gets the layup to go against Siakam. He doesn't do enough good things to justify playing him. Doesn't. Siakam driving it down. In a limited role, he might be useful, but he's not good enough. SGA, cross-court pass to Case and Wallace. Back to SGA. Back out to Caruso for a wide-open 3. He splashes it just like that. OKC back up by 18. All is right back in the world. Nemhard turns it over. SGA with the steal. Here comes J-Dub. J-Dub over to Wallace, over to Caruso. Caruso, another right corner three. Too long, can't get that one to go. Haliburton picks up the rebound. He's bringing it down. Haliburton gets it over to Siakam in the post, being guarded by Wallace. Faces up, backing him down, spins, pump fakes. Wallace goes down, knocks it out of his hands, but they call a foul. 1:30 to go. D-Raz, what's up, D-Raz? Did we fire Tibbs yet? They did fire D-Raz. I don't know where you've been, brother, but they did fire Tibbs a couple days ago, man. Almost over a week ago now, right? About a week ago. Yeah, I said, hopefully this isn't like last game. After 24 turnovers, Pacers come back when OKC bricks threes. Yeah. 24 turnovers, and they still pulled off the victory, which was crazy. Sharon McLean, what's up, Sharon? Siakam misses a free throw. AB said no one said anything about Doc and Austin Rivers. Well, Austin Rivers was hardly a star player on that team. He was also the head coach. Right? The power dynamics a little bit different on both sides. But you're right. Not much was said about Austin and Doc Rivers and how weird that was. That was weird. Siakam did knock down the second one. 1:30 to go. J-Dub driving it down all the way to the rim. Gets the lefty layup to go. Back up to 19. Haliburton bringing it down. Keep the 20-point lead going into halftime. Haliburton up top, crosses over, coming to his right, driving it down, kicks it out, swinging around. Neesmith, a straightaway three. Comes up short. Holmgren with the rebound. SGA bringing it down. Quick crossover. Dancing in the lane. Fall-away jumper. Can't get it to go. Holmgren can't grab the rebound. Siakam picks it up. We're under a minute to go. Siakam up top, dancing with it against Caruso. Siakam picks up his handle, hits Neesmith, cutting back door, gets blocked by SGA. Loose ball finds its way to Toppin. Toppin kicks it out to Siakam. Siakam swings through, dancing with it against Caruso. Steps back, straightaway three over Caruso. Excellent defense, well short. Long rebound back out to Siakam. Gets it out to Haliburton. Haliburton coming to his left, dancing with it against J-Dub. Coming to his right, he's got no space. Steps back for a right wing three over J-Dub. Way off, can't get it to go. Another long rebound finds its way to Siakam again. They're going to have 3 shots here at the end of the quarter. Nemhard's going to drive it down, draw the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. After some great defensive possessions there, it's going to end with some. That's why my thing wasn't there. My man, Anthony L. Dawkins. What's up, Anthony? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good time tonight. Mayweather said, Shaq, Barkley, Kenny, or Ernie to coach if you had to pick one. Shaq and Barkley, get them out of there. Comes down between Kenny or Ernie. And I'd probably go... I'd go Ernie Johnson because I think he'd do the work. I don't know if Kenny Smith would do the work. I really don't. I'd go Ernie Johnson. Nemhard knocks down almost both free throws. They turn it over. Nemhard's got a fire at the buzzer. He can't get it to go. Nemhard split the free throws, by the way. So it's 59-41, 18-point game at halftime. Not good enough for View of the Thunder. Not good enough. You got a lot of work to do. Vertify said, Ernie, seriously, maybe Shaq. Brother, Shaq doesn't even watch basketball. He has no idea how modern basketball is played. He has no idea how modern basketball is played. Good luck with that, dude. Shaq would be a horrific coach. Yak said, Kenny probably. Kenny is a decent pick, but I don't believe he would do the work. I don't believe he would do the watch the film. I don't think he has it in him to do that. as a coach. I think he'd be a good assistant coach. I'd have Ernie as my head coach and Kenny as his assistant. AP said Shaq and Barkley don't know a red light from a green. They don't know what's going on in modern basketball. They go solely off of vibes. Their whole analysis is solely off of vibes, which is fine. But you have to be able to recognize that in them. Their analysis is 1,000% full of vibes. That's all it is. Hold on, y'all. Let me blow my nose. Yak said if you own the team, probably Kenny. I'd go Ernie. I think I'd go Ernie. I think I would go Ernie. AB said it was Shaquille O'Neal who started that stupid trend where you have to win the championship to be great. I was never a fan for that. Yeah, rings culture is dumb because you have to have a great team around you. Like Patrick Ewing never had a great team around him. He had some good teams, but never great teams. Never filled with a ton of talent. And so Patrick Ewing never wins a championship, even though he was definitely good enough to do so as a player. But, and that's the case for a lot of players, like Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is going to go down as the best winner to never win a championship. Mona said, how about Mark Jackson? Is he out of the picture? He's as far out of the picture as out of the picture can get. Mark Jackson is never going to be a head coach in the NBA ever again. Nobody likes working with Mark Jackson. That is the number one thing that is underrated about finding a new head coach, is you have to be able to work with that guy as a front office. So no front office will ever hire Mark Jackson. And it's not because of the BS, he's been blackballed out of the NBA kind of nonsense. It's because nobody likes working with him, right? If you get fired from a job, not because you did a bad job, but because you were so miserable to work with that they had to get you out of the building. If you go interview for another job and they call your former employer, and they're like, hey, what was up with that guy? And they go, look, man, he's a smart basketball mind. He was a smart mind. Like, he did good stuff for us, but like we couldn't work with him anymore. Made everybody's lives miserable in the building. Do with that information what you will. Guess what? They're not going to hire you. Mark Jackson has an unlikable personality. People do not like him. He was supposed to do work with the MSG network this year and calling games, some road games that Clyde Frazier wouldn't call. And that was like set up to the point where like a lot of people reported like, yes, they signed the contract, he's going to do it. And then people, when that became public knowledge, people within the MSG organization, within the MSG production team were like, whoa, I'm not working with no Mark Jackson. I'm not working with that guy. Like, have you heard about this guy? Like, I've worked with him in these spots here, and here, when he worked for ESPN and I worked for their production team. He's miserable to work with. Mark Jackson sucks. So they got him out of there. He will never work again. Yak said, made homophobic comment is why. There's a lot more than that, Yak. I'm sure that has played a part in a lot of spots for him, but there's a lot more than that. Mike said, Ernie Johnson with the corny ass bow ties. What's corny about bow ties, brother? What is corny about bow ties? Mike said, bring back Jeff Van Gundy. Brother, do you not know who Tom Thibodeau learned how to coach basketball from at the NBA level? Do you not know who Jeff Van Gundy is? He's OG Tom Thibodeau. He is OG Tom Thibodeau. David said, Taylor Jenkins is a good coach. Taylor Jenkins is a good coach. Look, man, whoever they hire, I'm going to convince myself that it was a good hire. No matter what I believe. I would go Johnny Bryant. I understand the pushbacks with Johnny Bryant. I understand the things that could go absolutely wrong with Johnny Bryant. In that rookie head coach, big market in New York, taking over a team for a legendary head coach in Tom Thibodeau, taking over a team in New York, taking over a team with championship expectations. I think I said New York twice. Taking over a team with championship expectations. All fantastic reasons to not hire Johnny Bryant. So I would get why we like Johnny Bryant, but it's not time to hire Johnny Bryant right now. My point is, I believe in that he is a really good head coach that a lot of people like, who I find is a really smart basketball mind, who should be given a chance at some point, and hopefully it's with the Knicks. Hopefully it's with the Knicks. AB said, yeah, that's a real thing. There's people in my job I don't like. And when you have a very public job, like being a part of production or being on-air talent, that plays a huge role, right? Or even like having to be the coach of a professional sports team in which you have to go to the podium and answer questions every night. You have to be the guy to do that. Mark Jackson is not the guy to do that. Ox 4 what's up, Ox? Should be head coach. Chef should be head coach. Make it happen. I've said before, man, I don't think I'd make a good head coach, but I do think I would be one of the best assistant coaches in the NBA. I would be one of the best assistant coaches in the NBA. David Oz Jr. said, Ty Lue asked the Clippers Knicks. Why would the Clippers allow the Knicks to take Ty Lue away from them? Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the league. Not happening. Not happening. None of these teams are going to allow the Knicks to take their head coach from them. Right? It's not like the Knicks have first-round picks that they can send to teams to compensate them. Also, the Knicks are inquiring about some of the best young coaches in the league, like Ime Udoka, like Chris Finch, like like Ty Lue would be. But Lana Mona said, so let's settle on Mark Malone. It's Mike Malone, and absolutely not. Mike Malone is Tom Thibodeau 2.0. He is the same exact person as Tom Thibodeau. Mike Malone would have never won a championship as a head coach if Nikola Jokic doesn't become the best player in the league, by far. Like, it doesn't happen. Kinohara, what's up, Kinohara? Among coaches under contract, I prefer Udoka. Yeah, he's one of the best young coaches in the league. I prefer Udoka too. But it ain't happening. None of these coaches under contract are happening. I get why the Knicks are inquiring about it, but none of these are happening. Ian Hart said, if we're talking to people that are actually reasonable, I like Johnny Bryant and Sam Cassell. Me too, Keenan Hart. I will say a name that I've heard some people talk about, not necessarily the Knicks have talked about it, but other podcasts have talked about, is Terry Stotts. Terry Stotts was the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers when Damian Lillard was there. I like Terry Stotts. If they're going to go the veteran coach route, Terry Stotts is a guy I wouldn't mind. But here's the thing: like, I would hire Johnny Bryant as my head coach and bring in Terry Stotts as the assistant. What is Terry Stotts doing? Is he an assistant somewhere right now? You know, like, oh, this is another thing I wanted to bring up that I mentioned earlier. Part of the reason of interviewing a ton of head coaches during the head coaching searching process is finding assistant coaches for whoever the head coach is that you hire. For example, the last time the Knicks went on a coaching search was 5 years ago when they eventually hired Tom Thibodeau. But when you look at Tom Thibodeau's coaching staff, the Knicks, when you look at Tom Thibodeau's coaching staff, during the Knicks head coaching interviews, they interviewed Mike Woodson, they interviewed Kenny Payne, they interviewed, I don't know if they interviewed Johnny Bryant, but they brought in Johnny Bryant. Who was the other coach they interviewed? I can't remember. But some of the coaches that they interviewed during the head coaching searching process, they asked to come back if they were interested in being an assistant coach on the team. They didn't get the head coaching job. But would you like to come be an assistant coach under Tom Thibodeau? Some of them said yes. And that's a brilliant move. You find some of the smartest minds. You find minds who you feel like, hey, they're going to support our head coach in a way that's going to really amplify them. And so if you go the young rookie head coach route, let's say they hire Johnny Bryant. Say they go through the whole coaching search and they interview a bunch of guys and they go, you know what? We're taking a chance on Johnny Bryant. It's not like Johnny Bryant sitting on the bench alone. You have to assemble an assistant coaching staff. And I would assume that Johnny Bryant would go out of his way to find, and the Knicks organization will go out of their way to find veteran head coaches to help along the rookie Johnny Bryant head coach, right? Like a Terry Stotts, like a Taylor Jenkins, right? Frank Vogel is a name that may come up that they're going to interview. I wouldn't hate Frank Vogel, but I wouldn't really like Frank Vogel either. Mike Brown is a name that's going to come up. He was an assistant under Steve Kerr in Golden State for a while. He helped Sacramento break through offensively and become one of the best offensive teams in the league while he was there. Kind of fell apart towards the end. But he is an offensive guy who can come in and kind of spearhead an offensive change for this team. It's kind of something that they need, right? But there are options and ways for this organization to go down. We're just going to have to wait and see because they haven't even started conducting formal interviews yet. I hope they hire a coach by the time the finals are over. David said the Knicks already know who they're hiring already. I thought so too at first, David, and now I don't know. Now I think they're legitimately open to almost any option. David said, go get Meta World Peace for head coach. He's advocating for it. He sure is. AP said, could you imagine Sam Cassell makes it up to us with helping us win the title? It would be a great story. It really would. Sam Cassell is another rookie head coach that I wouldn't mind. Right? He's been an assistant for what feels like forever. He's a very high-valued assistant. People really like Sam Cassell. They think he's a really good assistant coach. And he's, he deserves an opportunity at some point. So, I'm hoping. It's one of these guys, one of these young guys. AB said it was said players, it was said some players were complaining to James Dolan himself. Well, James Dolan was present during the exit meetings that happened with most of, pretty much all the role players, all the players who were in the rotation at the end of the season. He was present for those meetings. And this is obviously speculation on my part because I know nothing. I only read what other people write. And in piecing together what some people have written, what it sounds like to me is that this front office began losing faith in Tom Thibodeau as the year was going on. And some of that was being communicated to James Dolan. And I think at the end of the year, James Dolan said, well, let me hear it from the players. How do the players feel about the head coach? And so he was present during the end of the exit interviews. Sorry. He was present during the exit interviews. And apparently he was the one asking the questions. But wouldn't it make sense for the owner who has to sign off, who's the last person to sign off on the decision, to ask the players, let me hear from the horse's mouth. What did you think of Tom Thibodeau this year? And some of them lambasted Tibbs and like, hey, look, man, he's great guy, good coach. And one of these comments was really poignant where they said, I don't think I can play for Tom Thibodeau another year. And a lot of people have been pointing to Mikal Bridges because we know Mikal Bridges and Tom Thibodeau didn't really see eye to eye all year. I would actually argue that that's probably Deuce McBride. I've seen other people also say that. Because Deuce McBride is going into a contract year, was hardly used this past season, even though he was the sixth man of the team, was never used in optimal lineups where he was alongside guys like Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns, was never used in those lineups, was always used when there were three other bench players on the court, and was never put in a position to be successful this year or be at the peak of what he could possibly be. So it's really, really difficult to envision that Deuce McBride was having a great time playing under Tom Thibodeau, as appreciative as he might be for what Tom Thibodeau did for his career and giving him the opportunity initially once the Emmanuel Quickley trade happened. Here we go. We're back into it. Start of the second half. Nembhard driving to his left, pulls it back, and a foul in case on Wallace. Keenar said Steve Summers used to call Artest military-industrial complex because that nickname is just about as appropriate as metaphor would be for the kind of guy he was. Avey said one thing about James Dolan over the decades, he does listen to his players. He does. He does. You know? And the players made it known how they feel about Tibbs. Haliburton gets it out to Turner. Turner's going to drive it down. Scoop Blade with the right hand. Airballs it, but a foul on Chet Holmgren's going to send Turner to the foul line with 2 free throws. Yak said, who knows what went on in those meetings? I doubt anyone will talk besides who was in those meetings. Yeah. I mean, look, some of the beat reporters have said this was kind of the vibe of the meetings. They obviously weren't in the meeting, so they don't know specifically. I don't know specifically. I'm just pontificating and saying what I think about the situation and what we read. We don't know exactly what went on in those meetings, right? Did James Dolan ask questions alongside the Leon Rose questions? Because some people tried to make it sound like James Dolan was in that meeting and asking all the questions and Leon Rose was over there sitting in the corner. Like, I don't think that's how that was going down, you know? Turner split the free throws. But who knows? Who knows? Dort has it up top being guarded by Siakam. Get it over to J-Dub. J-Dub coming to his left off a Dort screen, being chased by Nesmith. Stop, turn, spin. Takes it out to Holmgren. Driving it down against Turner. In and out dribble. Spins to his left. Puts it up. Left hand. Can't get it to go. Good defense from Miles Turner. Here comes Haliburton pushing the other way. It's a 17-point game. Haliburton has it up top. Coming to his right off the screen. Behind the back pass. Turner wide open. Straightaway 3 over Holmgren. Comes up well short yet again. And then a loose ball foul in SGA. Trying to keep Nesmith off the glass. Kiana Bryan, what's up, Kiana? AP said McBride, Towns, Bridges, maybe Josh Hart. One of them is the thing. I highly doubt it's Josh Hart, who is the golden boy of Tom Thibodeau. I don't think it's Karl Anthony Towns. And it could be Bridges because he and Tibbs kind of had a spat earlier in the year. But I don't think it's Bridges. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would do that with his personality. As Bridges knocks down as Turner knocks at Bridges. Turner knocks down a little mid-range jumper, and suddenly it's a 15-point game again. Here we go, under 11 to go. Start of the second half. They kick it out. J-Dub wide open left corner 3. Flashes it. Mike said, then why did they fire Tibbs? Brother, did you not just hear me explain how the players did not want to play for Tom Thibodeau anymore? What do you mean, then why did they fire Tibbs? Because the front office was fed up with his inability to. Turner spins, draws yet another foul on Chet Holmgren. Mike, they fired Tom Thibodeau because the front office was tired of his inability to utilize the players that they were bringing in. They made all these moves in the offseason to bring in a bunch of new guys for this newly crafted team that should lean more offensively, and Tom Thibodeau didn't utilize any of them in proper ways, including Brunson, including Towns, who had fantastic years, but that was almost because how great they are offensively individually. not because Tom Thibodeau put them in positions to be successful. And also, at the end of the year, the players went into an exit meeting, and they said, some of them said, I don't want to play for Tom Thibodeau again next year. I don't think I can do another year of that. Turner knocked down both free throws. Here comes SGA in a 16-point lead right now. I said, doesn't players only mean no owners and no GM? Talking about the players only meeting that they had during the playoffs, I'm not talking about those meetings. I'm talking about the end of the season after they were eliminated exit meetings that every team holds. Kevin K, what's up, Kev? Kiana Bryan, what's up, Kiana? I think it was an entire team. Tell me a little. Did not coach good this season. We got to the playoffs because we have skilled players to make a championship run and win it. Yeah, I think this team was successful because they had a tremendous amount of talent. As the Thunder just scored, Haliburton down the lane, kicks it out to Turner. Turner driving to his left on Holmgren. Euro stepping down the lane, scoop blade with the right hand, can't get it to go. Chad Holmgren with the rebound. Here comes SGA. Back up to 18. SGA is going to dance with it. Dance with it against Nesmith. Dance with it against Nesmith. Step back mid-range jumper. Got it to go. 20-point lead again. And then J-Dub knocks the ball out of Siakam's hands, but it'll remain with the Pacers. 9:35 to go. Turner, a straightaway three over Holmgren contest, and he splashes it. Patrick, what's up, Patrick? Before the end of the first half, the Thunder had already played 10. Yeah, I mean, look, the Thunder are one of the deeper, if not the deepest team in the league. But, yeah, man, if this finals is telling teams anything, it's that you need supreme depth in order to make a big championship run. You need to focus on depth, and which is why I think the Giannis talks and the Kevin Durant talks are a mistake if they are true. Because I think in order to make a championship run, these two teams are showing you need depth of two-way players, as many two-way players as you can get. Obviously, there is no replicating what OKC has. They're just set up in a way that no other team is ever going to be set up in history ever again. But even if you look at the Pacers, Nembhard, Nesmith, Turner, Siakam, Mathurin, really good two-way players, all up and down their roster. AP said, as far as Rick Brunson, I think he's safe. We'll see. I don't think so. I don't think he's safe. I think there's a chance he does come back, but I don't think he's safe at all. I believe Rick Brunson's only ever been an assistant coach under Tom Thibodeau, so I don't think he's safe at all. Depends who they bring in, obviously. Turner has it up top. Driving it down. Knocked out of bounds by the OKC. SGA did knock down his 2 free throws, by the way. They get it over to Nesmith. Nesmith in the right corner, being guarded by Dort. Spinning to his right. Slips and falls. Saves it out to Siakam. Siakam lines up a left corner 3. Can't get it to go. SGA tips the rebound out to case on Wallace. He shot out of a cannon, driving it down. Almost loses the handle. Picks it back up. Cross-court pass to J-Dub. Right through his hands. He's able to corral it. Over to SGA. SGA is going to pull it out and say, all right, let me dance. He's going to dance. One-on-one against Nembhard. Swings it out to J-Dub. J-Dub a wide open right wing 3. Nesmith giving him space. He can't make him pay as he misses it. It ahead to Siakam, who's going to bring it down. Siakam, quick crossover to his left, blows by the defense in the lane, puts up a floater off glass, way off. Turner comes flying in. He can't grab it. And then Siakam gets fouled on the putback. Hartenstein is in the game for Chet Holmgren, which is why you're seeing the Pacers grab some offensive rebounds here, because Hartenstein's not a good basketball player. The Hartenstein hate watch continues. It'll never die. It'll never die. Keenan Hart said this year the depth came into vogue. Another reason Tibbs was fired. I mean, the Knicks had potential for depth. They had good, viable rotational players. They weren't the best. They weren't the best rotational players. But Tom Thibodeau made sure that they never caught a rhythm all year by never playing them consistently, including some of our best bench players and like Deuce McBride. So, that's unfortunate. Avey said, I don't think they would risk a fallout with Jalen Brunson. Why would there be a fallout with Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson's a professional. He knows it's a business. He didn't come to the Knicks because his dad was the coach. There would be zero negative outcome if Rick Brunson was not back as an assistant coach. SGA step back three, can't get it to go. Turner with the rebound. Here comes Haliburton. Haliburton crosses over to his right, driving it down in the lane. Over to Turner. Turner rolling to the basket. Righty hook. Can't get it to go as it falls off the rim. It's a loose ball. Siakam picks it up. Swings it out. Nesmith, the right wing three. Gets it to go. Mark Dagnall calls the timeouts. It's back down to 14. It is boom, and then boom. My score was slightly off, and it's 68-54. Heard if I said Rick might have to leave just to give his son some space. That's what I would want. I wouldn't want my dad to be at work every single time I was there. I feel like that's a little weird, a little bit. David said, I think as soon as buzzer sounds and the Thunder win the chip, we're going to make an announcement, take all the chips swerve away from the champs. I hope they hire a coach before the finals is over. I do. Yak said, Pacers don't go away. They really believe. They don't go away whatsoever, man. They don't go away whatsoever. AB said family business. All that family business nonsense went out the window, brother. Went out the window when Leon Rose traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, right? Did he risk the fallout with Jalen Brunson by trading one of his best friends? This is a business, man. No fallout would happen whatsoever. Leon Rose is literally Jalen Brunson's godfather, which means Rick Brunson and Leon Rose have a relationship where Leon Rose can go to him and be like, thanks, big dog. Go home, though. Go chill with the family. They have that kind of relationship. Same way he did with one of his best friends in Tom Thibodeau. He said, thanks, big dog. Thanks for getting us out of the gutter. Go chill on a beach somewhere. We'll give you your $30 million. Don't worry about that. Kinar said, I still point out that $58.5 million for 2 years in tax-free OKC is better than $72 million over 4 years in New York City. I made a solid money. iHeart made a solid money decision. That's if you believe that NBA players make most of the money through their NBA contracts, which is not the case. Which is not the case, right? If you fancy yourself a star player, which Hartenstein would have been pretty close to a star player in New York. He would have been the starting center on a championship contending team. You make far more money off the court. But, when you have a loser's kind of mentality, that's what you believe, and you just take the easy road out. Fellow like me, I'm making my money. I'm making my money, and I'm making it in New York. Best believe. I'm taking all that New York offers, right? He made a solid money decision, and here he is coming off the bench in the finals. He would have been the starter. He would have been a starter on a Knicks team that would have been in the finals this year with him. But like I said, losers are going to be losers, man. And iHeart proved to me who he was. Maybe said Pops is different than a homeboy. He's not a homeboy, brother. He's literally a part of the family. Which I'll just tell you, I could dap up family all day and be like, peace out, man. I love you. I still gotta love you, but this is business. Move on. You're an assistant coach. You're not the head coach. Get him out of here. What has Leon Rose done that makes you believe that he would not fire? He wouldn't even fire. He's just not going to bring him back. He was a part of Tom Thibodeau's coaching staff. If they bring in a head coach that says, I don't want Rick Brunson a part of my coaching staff, you think that Leon Rose would be like, oh no, I'm choosing Rick Brunson as an assistant coach over this head coach who says he wouldn't take the job unless Rick Brunson is a part of his coaching staff. Like, no, man. They're going to hire a coach, and if that head coach is like, yeah, I have Rick Brunson on my coaching staff, that's fine, then Rick Brunson will be back. But if they hire a head coach, as J-Dub misses a foul shot, but if they hire a head coach who says, yeah, no, I don't want Rick Brunson part of my coaching staff, you think that they're going to be like, oh, man, well, we're keeping Rick Brunson as the head coach, so now we can't have this guy be the head coach. We're keeping Rick Brunson as an assistant coach. You think they choose an assistant coach over a head coach? Come on, man. That ain't happening. Not one bit. You're telling me that they would choose an assistant coach over a head coach, and it ain't happening. Turner inside the Nemhard, who gets wide open under the basket for a layup. And it is a 13-point game, y'all. It is a 13-point game. SGA over to Harnstein. Harnstein over to Caruso. Caruso with an easy layup, and they repay the favor of a wide-open guy under the basket by himself. Siakam on the right wing. Harnstein jumped the passing lane, or jumped the ball handler, steals it, gets it over to SGA. SGA bringing it down. SGA kicks it out to Caruso. Caruso back to SGA. Great defense from Harnstein. SGA is going to back down. Nemhard kicks it out to J-Dub. They swing it around. Caruso wide open right corner three. Caruso lines up the three, and just like that, it's back up to 18. And they're keeping them an arm's distance away. Nemhard gets it over to Turner. Turner up top gets it out to Haliburton. Haliburton's going to dance with it. Coming to his right. Pocket pass to Turner. Turner foul line jumper. Gets it to go. AP said Leon has to do what's best for him, and he's getting the pink slip. Or he's getting the pink slip. He's got to do what he's got to do. Yeah, which is why he wouldn't keep Rick Brunson if it means not being able to hire a head coach who doesn't want Rick Brunson. Rick Brunson means absolutely nothing to this organization. He is not the reason why they are good. He is not the reason why they are bad. They brought him in as a bit of a favor to Rick Brunson, who was out of work for a while. If they want him out, he'll be out. If they want to bring him back, he'll be back. It has nothing to do with him or his relationships to anybody. Siakam's going to go to the foul line. 2 free throws. He got fouled on the floor, but they're in the bonus. Yak said, I doubt a head coach would protest having Rick. You never know. You never know, Yak. Head coaches are particular about their coaching staffs, especially if they're a high-valued head coach. Look, if they bring in an assistant coach, a rookie head coach like Johnny Bryant, he kind of wants the head coaching job. So he might just be like, yeah, go ahead, put Rick Brunson on the coaching staff. I don't care. I just want the job. But you never know. What if they hire Terry Stotts or Frank Vogel or a veteran head coach, and the veteran head coach is like, yeah, I don't want that guy here. Why would I want that guy here? Why would I want an assistant coach from the previous regime who has a close relationship with the front office and a close relationship with the star player to be on my coaching staff? I don't trust that guy. Why would you want that? You want a group of guys who you can trust. Rick Brunson ain't the most trustable guy if you don't know him. Nemhard knocks down both free throws. SGA's bringing it down against Nemhard. It's a 16-point game. It's not insurmountable. It's not insurmountable. SGA driving it down, kicks it out. Aaron Wiggins, a wide open three. Rushed it a little bit, but it didn't matter. He knocked it down. Aaron Wiggins has been spectacular here tonight. Siakam's dancing with it against Caruso. Spins in the lane, gets fouled by Caruso. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Jose NYC, what's up, Jose? Who else is part of the coaching staff? Well, we don't have a coaching staff right now because we don't have a coach. Yak said it's obviously not about money to the Brunsons. Yeah, it's not about money. So they could tell him to go home. He doesn't need the money. David Osh Jr. said Rick will be a special advisor. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. KZ, Hoosier native here. Go Pacers. What's up, KZ? Not looking great for you tonight. But hey, man, you did your job. You stole game 1. even if you lose tonight, which, with this Pacers team, it's never over until it's over. But if you do lose tonight and it's 1-1 going back to Indiana, you feel pretty good about where you're sitting. Obviously, you still got games to win, but you feel pretty good about where you're sitting. Wiggins pump fakes, throws a bullet pass inside the J-Dub, a terrible pass from Wiggins. Here comes Haliburton pushing the other way. Shot out of a cannon, spins, kicks it out to Toppin up top. Haliburton's got to get aggressive at some point, man. He's doing nothing tonight. Nembhard pump fakes, tries to get it out. Ball is tipped. Caruso can't save it, but it's going to stay with the Pacers. AB said Rick Brunson is the next Herb Williams, LOL. The one common denominator. We'll see. We'll see. Haliburton puts up a three. He can't get it to go. There is a chance. There is a chance Rick Brunson could be back, and there is a chance he could not. I can see it going either way. The refs initially called it off the missed Haliburton three. The refs initially called it out of bounds off of Siakam and the Pacers. And they meet, and they change the call. It's out of bounds off of J-Dub and the Thunder, so it's going to remain with the Pacers. 14 back on the shot clock. They get it into Shepherd. Shepherd out to Toppin. Toppin hands it off to Haliburton. Haliburton's going to drive it down in the lane. Kicks it out to Toppin. Toppin, right corner three over Hartenstein's contest. He can't get it to go. A long rebound. Caruso able to pick it up. And now SGA has it up top, dancing with it. Quick crossover to his right, down the lane, takes some contact, flips over the rim, can't get it to go. Here comes Nembhard over the top pass to Shepherd. They close out that airspace quickly. Shepherd forced to kick it out. Nembhard attacking from the top, driving it in on Caruso, pump fakes, holds on to that pivot foot, gets it over to Haliburton. Haliburton, a floater along the right baseline, he gets it to go. J-Dub draws a foul. He's going back to the foul line for 2 free throws. It's a 15-point game. I forgot to give OKC a 3. It's a 15-point game, man. It's not insurmountable. Yak said, Rick stuck up for Tibbs instead of Dante, who slept in his house off-season in college. I mean, he was just sticking up for his team. He was just sticking up for his team. AB said Rick Brunson will go work with Allen Houston and develop some of the point guards in the G League. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with Rick Brunson. He could be back. He could not be back. I don't know. J-Dub knocks down both free throws. 81-64. Haliburton driving it down. Has it up top against Caruso. Coming to it right off the top and screen. Hesitation move. Down the lane. Gets it stripped by SGA. My goodness. Here comes SGA driving it down. Gets grabbed by Top, and he's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Haliburton is in absolute jail against the Thunder tonight. David Osh Jr. said, who's coaching Summer League? We don't know, David. It used to be Dice Yoshimoto. And Dice Yoshimoto is a Tom Thibodeau guy who's no longer going to be on the coaching staff. We don't know, man. As interested as I am in the head coaching hire, obviously, it's the most interesting thing going on with the Knicks, obviously. SGA knocks down the first one, and the Pacers call a timeout. I'm really interested to see who fills out the assistant coaching bench, the assistant coaching roles. I think that's really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Jack said the coaches that have contracts still have contracts for now. I'm pretty sure the implication when the head coach is fired, so are the assistants. Some assistants stay because the front office wants them to stay. But I'm pretty sure the implication is that the whole coaching staff is fired and not just the head coach. Especially when it's an off-season hire. When it's an in-season hire, that's the case. The coaching staff stays because you need somebody, right? But yeah, when it's an off-season firing like that. Also, Tom Thibodeau's coaching staff is a coaching staff that is a Tom Thibodeau coaching staff. Like they are an assistant coaching staff that has been with Tom Thibodeau since the beginning and have only ever really been assistants under Tom Thibodeau. David Osh Jr. said, Kolek, McCullough, Hug, Dottier, Summer League's going to be nice. It is going to be nice. They're also going to bring in a fifth young player with this upcoming draft pick, whoever that may be. I think right now it's the 50th pick, but we know with second round picks, if you want to trade up into the earlier in the second round, you can. It's not difficult. You know, even if they were really desperate and really liked the prospect, they could theoretically trade into the end of the first round. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. They could do that if they wanted to, but you know, I think they like second round picks more than they like first round picks because second round picks you can get more creative with their contracts. First round picks you kind of get the standard rookie deal, which is 2 and 2 years with a 2-year team option. And it scales based off of where you were picked. You can get a lot more creative with second round picks. I think they value the second round pick more than they value the first round pick. Or the late first round pick, I should say. I should clarify. AB said Jeff Van Gundy was the Knicks from the 80s was with the Knicks from the 80s until 2002. I don't think he was with them in the 80s. Pretty sure he wasn't with them in the 80s. I think you're exaggerating. I'm pretty sure he came to the Knicks under Pat Riley. '89, technically the '80s. '89. He was the assistant starting in '89, so technically the '80s. You're right about that. He barely hit it, but it was '89. Yeah, it was '89. AP, you got it. You got it. Barely the '80s. I wouldn't call it the '80s, but it was '89, so technically was the '80s. SGA does knock down the second one. Haliburton's back on the bench. 3:30 to go. Matherin in the left corner. 19-point deficit. Up top to McConnell. Leaves it off for Nesmith, a 3. Splashes it. This guy Nesmith, man. Thinks he's back in college. AP said Rokas. I don't think the Knicks care for Rokas Jogobitis anymore, man. I actually think it's more on Rokas' side. I think if Rokas wanted to come to the NBA, I think the Knicks would have brought him over at some point. But he would have had to ride the bench for a year or two. But here's the thing. When they traded Emmanuel quickly, that spot was open. He would have, and then even this year, a backup point guard spot was open. They brought in Campaign. They traded for DeLon Wright. He would have had an opportunity to play. You have to kind of ride the bench for a little bit if you're Rokas Jogobitis. Come over, get acclimated to the NBA, get acclimated to the league. SGA's back at the foul line for 2 more free throws. He knocks down the first one. But instead, he said, I'm not coming over until there's a rotation spot for me. And the Knicks said, well, we're not leaving a rotation spot open for you to maybe come over. Like, no, come over, ride the bench for a year. Rotation spots open all the time on teams. And then win the rotation spot. Battle for it. He said he didn't want to battle for it. And I don't think that's the mentality of a player that they really want in the roster. I think that ship has sailed. Going to be 24 going into next year. They get it over to Nesmith. Nesmith on the left wing. Driving it down against SGA. Steps through. Kicks it out to Toppin. Toppin in the deep right corner for a 3. Gets tipped by Kenrich Williams. Aaron Wiggins picks it up. Hit ahead to Chet Holmgren. Holmgren hit ahead to Kenrich Williams. Kenrich Williams goes up and gets blocked by Thomas Bryant. It's a loose ball. And Thomas Bryant, I believe, was out of bounds when he touched it. Oh, wow. So it wasn't a clean block. It was a goaltend, but they missed it. They didn't call it. Either way, the Thunder have the ball here. SGA has it on the right baseline, being guarded by Matherin, backing him down in the post. Spins again. All the way jumper over Matherin, splashes it. Didn't matter. Excellent defense for Matherin. It didn't matter. SGA's taking over here. They're back up by 20. 87-67. McConnell coming to his right. Foul line pull-up jumper gets it to go. A McConnell go-to. You said Rocha says it's now up to Leon Rose. He said that in reference to whether or not he's going to come over for Summer League again. Not whether he's coming over to the NBA. And if he's not making the commitment to come over to the NBA, I don't think the Knicks would make the commitment to having him come over for another trip for Summer League when they could, possibly have somebody else that they're interested in play for their Summer League team. Caruso knocks down the first one. Like, why waste that spot for a guy who doesn't want to come here, who doesn't have, like, I make the comparison to Dottier. Dottier was drafted, and we all collectively went, oh, yeah, draft and stash. The Knicks do like those kind of players. They did it with Rokas Jogabitis. And Dottier was immediately like, I'm coming over. And the Knicks were like, ooh, that wasn't a part of the plan. Caruso knocks down both of his free throws. That wasn't a part of the plan. We don't really have the money to pay you your full rookie contract. As Neesmith knocks down another three, we were expecting you to be a draft and stash, and we'll bring you over a different time. And he said, no, I'm coming over. And he said, look, man, this is all we could offer you, 80% of your rookie max deal. And he said, okay. Like, that's a dude who wants to come over. Like, took less money as a rookie to come over. Unprecedented move. Because he wants to be a part of the organization. He wants to be in the NBA. He wants to be competing against the best. Whereas Rokas Jogabitis is like, unless I have a spot in the rotation, I'm not coming over. And it's like, that's not how the NBA works, man. You got to fight for your spot. There are Reed Shepherd was drafted 3rd overall and didn't play for Houston this year. Because he wasn't one of their best, 9 guys in the rotation. Reed Shepherd was a 3rd overall pick. Rokas Jogabitis was a 2nd-round pick. Like, you got to just make the trip over, man. If you want to be in the NBA, you got to just make the trip over. Thomas Bryant's at the foul line for 2 free throws. It's a 17-point game. Bryant knocks down the first one. Just that, so these finals are going to be the least watched in history. Maybe. Well, they are highly entertaining. See what this fourth quarter has in store for us. It's a 16-point game. It's not insurmountable. We've seen these Pacers pull off miracles, man. Yak said, didn't he play Summer League and do nothing? Not the year he was hurt. No. Every time he's come over for Summer League, he's done good stuff. I like him as a player. I like him as a prospect. As Thomas Bryant misses the second one. You just have to come over and learn how to play NBA basketball and get acclimated to the league, man. You're not just going to come over and be good and Garner. Harnstein throws a nice lob to Jet Holmgren. The double big lineup can work. Knock Dagnall. Go to it. Matherin driving it down, draws a foul. Going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Avey said Rokas will get here by the time he's Pablo's age. Yeah, man. Pablo was, what, 35 when he came over? Pablo Prigioni? Pablo was 35 as a rookie on the Knicks. Harnstein with the rebound off the missed Matherin free throw. Split them. He did split them. SGA has it up top. He's going to wind down the clock as much as he can. 40 seconds to go. SGA, quick crossover to his right of Matherin. Behind the bag, Matherin goes flying. SGA, high scoop layup, can't get it to go. Harnstein, an offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Chet Holmgren. He fires a three. He can't get it to go. Matherin with the rebound. He's bringing it down the other way. Matherin shot out of a cannon. Ball poked out of his hands. Harnstein flips it over to SGA. SGA tries to get it over to Kason Wallace. It's knocked loose. Chet Holmgren picks it up. He's going to drive it down. Pass fake. Runs right over Neesmith, and a blocking foul on Neesmith. 15.9 to go. Jimbo Dini, what's up, Jimbo? David Osh Jr. said, I like Marjan. Marjan, Beauchamp. I like Marjan, too. I did like Marjan. He is getting a little bit older. I still like him. AB said, Pacom says he's coming here, and I'm getting paid. I'm getting locked at 18. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. About that AP. If he doesn't come over and he just concedes, I'll be a draft and stash, that's fine. I'll come over when you have an open rotation spot. Like, the Knicks are going to go into this offseason with the mentality of we have to fill in this wing role. But Pacom Dadie has already been here. He's already shown them what he can do. I'm sure that they have some level of confidence in his ability to compete for a rotation spot next year. And so when training camp comes around, whether they bring in the veteran wing guy or not, he's going to be looked at as like, hey, go win that spot. You know, because he's already here. And they know what he's capable of. Holmgren knocked down both free throws because OKC was in the bonus. Haliburton bringing it down over the top pass to Neesmith. He's going to step back for a left corner three. Gets blocked by Kason Wallace. There you go, Kason Wallace. God damn. Yak said Pablo will make a good coach. He could coach team ball. They play in Europe. Maybe not a good head coach. Neesmith up top, driving it down, throws up a high, well-contested floater, can't get it to go, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. It is a 19-point lead for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Pacers are doing a good job of hanging around just enough, but 19 is a lot to overcome in one quarter. But we've seen miracles happen before. Can't count them out. The thing about Pablo Prigioni as a possible head coach candidate is that, like, I think in order to be the head coach in the NBA, you have to be more fluent in English than he is. He's been a solid assistant for Chris Finch in Minnesota, though. Yak said Hukporty most likely will be in the rotation. Most likely. I think a similar situation is going to happen. They'll bring in some veteran big, and they'll tell Hukporty, like, hey, man, go compete for that backup big spot. Right? Especially if they decide to start Mitchell Robinson next year. Right? Especially if they decide to start Mitchell Robinson next year, because then you have Robinson, Towns, and then you need a backup big. Right? That could be Hukporty. I like Hukporty a lot. Just Dad said Yanks getting stomped again. That's unfortunate. AB said, yep, the new coach has no loyalties to anyone on the roster. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because we have no idea. I'm assuming majority of the roster is going to remain the same going to next year, but we'll see. But under that assumption, we don't know what the head coach is thinking of doing going into next season. Are they going to look to start Karl-Anthony Towns at center, but this time insert Deuce McBride in for Josh Hart because that just makes more sense and there's enough data to back up the fact that that works better than Josh Hart? And there's at least enough data to prove that Josh Hart does not work in that starting lineup. So do you pull him out and start Deuce McBride, or you go the other way and you start the double bigs, and you have Mitchell Robinson at center to help uplift the defense with that starting lineup with Brunson and Towns, because we know they're not good defenders. And so you have Brunson, and so you have Anunoby and Robinson in there, along with hopefully a much more improved Bridges under a more suitable head coach for him, a more compatible head coach for him. And does that help improve the defense enough where you can start bringing in role guys? But if that's the case, then you need a backup big. That could be Hugporty. Or if Robinson's coming in off the bench, then that's your backup big, and then Hugporty becomes kind of a third-string center. Yeah, like I said, I know they wouldn't do it, but it could teach the team ball that Europe plays. Yeah, I mean, you could do that as an assistant coach, too. It doesn't have to be as the head coach. I'm sure they could hit up Pablo Prigioni to come over as an assistant, right? Johnny Bryant left the Knicks to go be with the Cavs. I'm sure Prigioni could leave Minnesota to come over with the Knicks. As Aaron Wiggins, nice pass to Harnstein. He gets a nice layup out of it. Back up by 20 plus, 21-point lead right now, start of the fourth quarter. David said, need a knockdown two-guard? Knockdown or lockdown? Either way, yes. Either Mikal Bridges needs to have a bounce-back season next year and be much more improved under, like I said, a more compatible head coach, or you need to start somebody who's more compatible with the starting lineup, like a Deuce McBride. But we'll see. It's all going to be dependent on who they bring in as the head coach. And I hope we have that answer sooner rather than later. Caruso, for another Pacers turnover, by the way, gets it out to Wiggins. Wiggins is going to drive it down, gets stripped by Shepherd. Going to remain with the Thunder with 1 second on the shot clock. Heard if I said Kolik's also a defensive liability? Yes, he is. Dottier could be a defensive liability. We don't know enough about Dottier's defense. I know some people are talking about, oh, he's a two-way player. He can play defense. It's like, we don't know that at the NBA level yet. We don't know that yet. Got to see more play from him in order to make that distinction. Cason Wallace with the quick catch and fire. Gets partially blocked by Haliburton, so it's a turnover, shot clock violation. Mo Peace, what's up, Mo? Knicks fans are the funniest? Why you say that, brother? Why you say that? Siakam bringing it down, gets it over to Turner. Turner out to Haliburton, pocket pass to Turner, and Turner throws down a big poster dunk over Harnstein, a tale as old as time. Harnstein getting lit up in the playoffs. I'm telling you guys, that guy's not good at basketball. The Harnstein hate watch will never end. J-Dub up top, attacking to his right, lean in, fall away jumper, comes up short. Caruso saves the possession, kicks it out to Wiggins. Wiggins a straightaway three off the offensive rebound, can't get it to go. Cason Wallace skies for an offensive rebound, back out to Wiggins. Wiggins another three. This time he knocks it down. Siakam gets it out to Haliburton. Haliburton dancing with it, driving to his right, down the lane, loses the handle on it, and yet another turnover as Haliburton is looking troubled out there. Wiggins another three. Way off. J-Dub the offensive rebound. Gets fouled by Siakam. Yak said, Precious, Payne, Wright, PJ, most likely replaced. So 4 new guys, one being our second-round pick for a cheap contract. Yeah. Precious out. Payne likely out. Wright most likely out. PJ, I don't know if he's likely out. I think they really valued his locker room presence. We'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. J-Dub has it up top, being guarded by Nembhard. Spinning. Keeping his handle alive. Now attacking. Kicks it out to Caruso. Wide open right corner three. Caruso, too long, can't get it to go. Harnstein knocks it into the air. Cason Wallace. No look pass to Caruso. And Caruso gets fouled on the floor on the pass. So no basket, even though he made that crazy reverse layup. 22-point lead for the Thunder, and they're looking to run it up right now. With SGA on the bench, by the way. They get into Caruso up top. Caruso over to J-Dub. J-Dub throws the lob to Harnstein. Harnstein got blocked by Turner. Then Siakam blocks J-Dub. Wiggins picks it back up. Inside the J-Dub, gets knocked loose. Wiggins picks it back up. Shot clock winding down. Steps through. Floater. Can't get it to go. Fight for the loose ball. Turner can't grab it. Can't hold on to it. Out of bounds. Going back to the Pacers. And the Thunder are adamant about challenging it. And the Pacers inbounded. They didn't have enough time, and it looked like Dagnall wanted to challenge it. Haliburton off the handoff, throws up a floater, gets it to go. AP said, thank God for this YouTube. Back in the days, we had to rely on sports radio. It's basketball season, and they're talking about the NFL. Thank God for this YouTube. Appreciate you, AP. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank God for people being able to create content on the things they like the most. That's absolutely off of Miles Turner, by the way. Hartenstein out to Wiggins. Wiggins inside the Caruso. Catches, pump fake, reverse layup. Gets fouled by Siakam. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Four fouls on Siakam, and this one is slipping away from Indiana. Caruso knocks down the first one. Yak said Kolik's defense when he played wasn't bad, getting steals and not beat often. Very limited minutes, though, Yak. Very limited minutes. It's different when you're doing it on a nightly basis and when there's an actual scouting report on you. I'm sure teams didn't even know Kolek was going to play that night, It was that kind of thing. Also, he was never in for enough time to get picked on, But we don't know what kind of defender he is because Tom Thibodeau never played him. Even when the Knicks were down point guards, even when Brunson was hurt, never played Kolek. Right? So we don't know. We don't know. J-Dub driving it down, fall-away jumper, gets it to go, answers the basket. It is 80-102. Score slightly off. My bad, y'all. Siakam crosses over to his right, down the lane, scoop lay with the right hand, can't get it to go. Well contested. Aaron Wiggins stays in bounds and able to save it. Here comes J-Dub pushing the other way, 1-on-4. Now he's going to slow down, step back, left wing three. I think his toes on the line. Didn't matter. He missed it. Way off. Siakam hit ahead to Nembhard. Nembhard on the left wing, behind the back, dancing with it. Picks his dribble up, out to Shepherd. Shepherd back to Nembhard. Nembhard crosses over to his left, slips and falls, and they call a foul on Dort. And Nembhard slipped on his own feet. Namar said, let's go, OKC is winning. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Haliburton gets a clear path and throws it down. David Oz Jr. said, question of the day. Don't be a weirdo, David. This ain't TMZ, brother. Stop reading them tabloids. Don't be a weirdo, man. AP said, when does the next season of your show officially start at the end of the NBA Finals? The next season of the show officially starts preseason game 1. That is the official start of season 4. Rick Carlisle calls a timeout. 8 minutes to go. If I said Tibbs is a good judge of talent, Kolek probably not it. Is Tibbs a good judge of talent? Is he a good judge of talent? Was he a good judge of talent in Minnesota when he drafted Chris Dunn like 5th overall. Is he a good judge of talent? Okay, Hazy said Summer League. The thing about Summer League is it's not that entertaining for a lot of people. I don't know who would tune in for a live Summer League commentary. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe. The other thing that's also very difficult about Summer League, they have really, really, really weird start times because they go all day. So one day you could have a 12 o'clock start time in the afternoon, and then the next day you could have like a 10:30 start time at night. So we'll see. Maybe we watch a couple of them. We don't watch all of them. But we'll see. Yak said, with our rookies becoming second year, we have good shot at winning Summer League. Winning Summer League doesn't mean anything. It would be fun, yes. But I want to see our guys play well. That's all I really care about. All I really care about. I want to see our guys play well. I want to see Hug Porty play better and look more comfortable out there, be in better shape than he was during Summer League last year. I didn't think he was in great shape for Summer League last year. I want to see Dadier look bigger and older and more comfortable as well. I want to see Kolek be able to run the offense and look like he's ready to take another leap as well going into next year because that backup point guard spot will be open. I want to see McCullough actually play and be healthy, be ready to go and compete for a spot, same as Dadier. And then whoever else we have. Let's see. Let's see who they bring in. Is Beauchamp going to play? Is Anton Watson going to play? We'll see. We'll see. AB said, I think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. He's not a modern coach. He's from the Riley Van Gundy era. He's more from the, I think he's past that era. He's more from the late 2000s era, which was on the verge of breaking loose of what he was grew up with, which was the Van Gundy Riley era, like he said. But he came up in an era slightly past that that era. So he's a little bit more creative than those 90s guys because the league got more creative and they're more creative role players and whatnot. But he's not right for 2025, man. 67 years old. He's curmudgeon. Hard-headed as hell. And look, man, being hard-headed is the thing that's holding him back. His hard-headedness is the thing that also propelled him to be as good of a coach as he was. He is a good coach, but it was time to move on. Okay, Hazy said, let's see how Porty smarter with fouls. That's just a rookie big man thing. All rookie big men struggle with fouls. All of them. I think it's always weird and overrated as Haliburton knocks down a pull-up three. Whenever people are like, oh, this big man needs to learn how to not foul. And I'm like, all big men foul. All young big men foul. Every single one of them. Holmgren has it, kicks it out, swinging around. Andrew Wiggins, another wide open three. Another basket for Aaron Wiggins. Answers right back. The three of his own. Haliburton off the handoff, being guarded by Wiggins. Dancing with it. Coming to his left off the Turner screen. Pocket pass to Turner. A pick and pop three. Off the back rim. Can't get it to go. A long rebound. They swing it out to Haliburton. Haliburton over to Toppin. Toppin left corner three. Well short. Holmgren with the rebound. Knocked out of his hands by Shepard. Toppin picks it up. Kicks it out to Turner. Turner kicks it out to Haliburton. Haliburton driving it down. Back out to Turner. Back out to nobody, actually. But Matherin able to pick it up. Drives it into Holmgren. Kicks it out to Toppin. Toppin throws it out to nobody. Almost picked off by J-Dub. Under 7 to go. Hey, Hazy said, getting demolished. And you love to see it. You do love to see it. It's a good time. Matherin crossing over down the lane. Gets fouled by Holmgren. Yeah, I said we know each other is a big advantage in Summer League. The biggest advantage you could have in Summer League is having second or third year players on your team who actually played rookie years. And the Knicks don't have anybody who actually played rookie years. Hopefully they play well, but I don't really care about wins or losses in the Summer League. I really don't. I care 0% about it. I care about seeing our guys play well individually. And obviously play well together and whatnot, but like seeing them play well and do things that I want them to improve on. Right? Like I want to see Cole play well defensively and be more of a scorer. I want to see Haliburton be more comfortable off the pick and roll, be more comfortable finishing in the paint, making smarter decisions, rebounding better than he did. I want to see that. I want to see Dottier just play well in general as the youngest player on this Knicks team. I want to see McCullough actually get out there and play well. We didn't see him get out there too often. SGA is back in the game, being guarded by Shepard, crossing over, lean in, all the way mid-range jumper, another basket for SGA. Haliburton bringing it down. Kick it out to Thomas Bryant, over to Toppin. Toppin driving to his left, down the lane, scoop layup, high off glass, can't get it to go, knocked out of bounds by Aaron Wiggins. It's going to remain with the Pacers. Jack said, Haliburton's so active boxing out on players will calm down just a little. Yeah, I mean, it's also just about technique as well. Toppin catches it on the basket, kicks it out to Mathurin. Mathurin driving it down against Dort, stops, leans in, fall away foul line jumper, splashes it. David said OKC is the blueprint of the league, getting younger and better. They are not, David, because no team can replicate what OKC did. They struck gold with the Paul George trade because an unprecedented thing happened where Kawhi was going to the Clippers, and he said, unless you get me Paul George, I'm not coming. And so they were put under the gun, and they had to make a move. They're still reaping the benefits of, and they were able to acquire a player who nobody thought was going to grow and be the MVP of the league and grew to be the MVP of the league. It is not replicatable. It will never happen again in NBA history. And this is the beauty of NBA basketball. They are not the blueprint because nobody can replicate what they did. The blueprint is building a compatible team around your superstar. That is the blueprint. Build a good, deep, compatible team around your superstar. That's it. SGA knocked down both free throws. Mathurin going along the baseline, kicks it out to Haliburton. Haliburton puts up the left corner three, well short. SGA with the rebound. Yeah, I said I would keep all the 7 rotation players with Shamit with rookies. That's 12. Yeah. Alley-oop to Caruso. Caruso just catches it and comes down with it. I like DeLon Wright as well, but and I like PJ Tucker's better locker room presence, but we'll see. Mathurin with a reverse layup over Chet Holmgren, over Lou Dort, who's coming over with help. Crazy finish from him. How they got it to go? I don't know. J-Dub has it up top. Get it over to SGA. SGA being guarded by McConnell. Backing him down. Kicks it back out to J-Dub. J-Dub putting his head down, attacking. Throws it away. What are you doing, J-Dub? What are you doing? Home run pass out to Haliburton. Haliburton's got to chase it down. Over to inside the McConnell. Now over to Toppin. Toppin tries to get it back to McConnell, and he turns it over. A bad play for Obi Toppin. You just got to go up strong and look to finish that, Obi. Got to put a guy on a poster every now and again, man. And he said, yeah, OKC is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Yeah, never happening again. What they have going on right now is never happening ever again. SGA down the lane, kicks it out to J-Dub. J-Dub a left wing three wide open. He can't get it to go. Toppin with the rebound. Here comes McConnell. McConnell coming to his right, driving it down, under the basket. Kicks it out to Haliburton. Haliburton a quick catch and fire to the right corner, gets it to go. J-Dub bringing it down. Has it up top, being guarded by McConnell. And a timeout from the Thunder. Four minutes to go. Okay, Hayes said Shamit worked really hard at the end of the season when, even when he wasn't in the lineup, we need him back. Yeah, I like Shamit. I like Shamit. I like the way he played. I've never been too big of a fan of Shamit, so I'm not going to advocate too hard for Landry Shamit. He was fine. He was cool. Hopefully, a guy like McCullough or Dottier outplays him for the rotation spot, and we don't necessarily need Landry Shamit anymore. But he's a good veteran piece, depth piece to have, and whatnot. But, you know, it's fine. I'm cool with Shamit here and there. But I'm not going to advocate too hard for Landry Shamit. David said, who's better, Brunson or SGA? The guy that literally won MVP. Okay, Hazy said SGA is more positive attributes. Brunson is more clutch, just different guys. SGA is better than Brunson. It's okay to say that. We're Knicks fans, and that's fine. I'm going to root for my guy like hell. SGA is way better than Brunson. And that's saying something. That's saying something. Yak said, Shamit, horrible few minutes in Detroit and Celtics series. Terrific Pacers series, especially defensively. Yeah, he was pretty invisible in the Detroit series, which is why he wasn't a part of the rotation anymore. He didn't have terrible spots in the Celtics series, though, Yak, because he didn't play in the Celtics series at all. Only came in during garbage time in those series. You know, like once he played bad in that Detroit series, we never saw him again, which I think is bad coaching. But, you know, we're past that. We're past that. I wouldn't mind bringing Shamit back. I just hope that a guy like Dottier or McCullough, I'll keep saying it, outplays him for the rotation spot. I hope that happens. AB said Brunson is the second best point guard in the East. Yeah. Yeah. He's debatably one or two, whichever way you lean. With Haliburton going to the finals, you have to give him the nod. Kind of have to give him the nod. But, yeah. Not a crazy thing to say at all. AB said, I don't think they just need to improve some role players. That's it. Or maybe the next coach can unlock something. I think that's the belief. That's my belief, I should say. Because it seems like maybe the front office shares a little bit of your sentiment as well with how much we're hearing about how there's going to be a lot of movement this offseason from the league overall, I'm talking about. Not just the Knicks, but the Knicks also involved in a lot of rumors right now. But rumors are just rumors. We'll see what they actually end up doing. Right? I wouldn't look to make drastic roster changes until you see what this roster is capable of doing. We did not get to see what the roster was capable of doing by because Tom Thibodeau did not unlock this roster whatsoever. Maybe said that's why I give him number 2 because he didn't beat the man. Yeah, very, very clear rationale. Very easy rationale. I agree with JP. I get it. SGA gets an and one. Johnny Furphy, I believe, picked up the foul. Johnny Furphy's in the game. It looks like the Pacers are waving the white flag here. Very fair to give Haliburton the nod. He's eliminated Brunson and the Knicks 2 years in a row now. You know? SGA gets his and one free throw. And here comes McConnell. We're under 4 minutes to go here. David said Haliburton, true point guard. Brunson, true shooting. Get his point guard. Haliburton, the true point guard today. Haliburton, a real true blue point guard. As Caruso knocks down a 3. Has 17.6 assists and 5 turnovers today. A true blue point guard, though. That guy looks to pass first. He's a true point guard. The role of the point guard is to not look to pass first. The role of the point guard is to get the best shot opportunity for your team. And if that means that's me, then that's me. Those 17 points from Haliburton, by the way, I would argue like 8 or 10 of them came in like this garbage time where none of it mattered anyway. SGA misses his fall away jumper. I'm not even giving the Pacers their points. My bad. My bad. It is 98 to 117. Mather in a pull-up three, gets fouled by J-Dub. He's going to the foul line for 3 free throws. Yak said, I think I would take Brunson over Haliburton. Much better score and only 1.5 assists behind a run and gun offense. Yeah, Brunson's passing game is highly underrated. I know you guys see the 25 points per game and the 18 shots, field goal attempts per game, but the guy still averaged, what did he average? Yeah, 7.5 assists this year. And that's with a really poor offense. That's with like no offensive system whatsoever. The offensive system is to give the ball to my best players and get everybody else get the hell out of the way. For the most part, obviously. Obviously, they ran some fun things, but for the most part, everybody was just getting the hell out of the way as Jalen Brunson would isolate or Karl Anthony Towns would isolate. That's it. That was the offense. Jalen Brunson under a real deal offense where he can both isolate and create out of isolation, but also be a part of an offense where he can play off ball and play off of guys like like a Bridges, like an Anunoby, like a Towns. But, we'll see. David said Haliburton gets rebounds, points, and gets players going. Is that Haliburton or is that the system? I'm not saying Haliburton's a system player. System is built around Haliburton doing the things that he does. He's great. But if you put Jalen Brunson in the Pacers system, and he wouldn't be nearly as good as Haliburton is in the system. Don't get me wrong. But he'd get close to averaging, 8, 9, 10 assists a game. And both teams have thrown in the end of the bench guys. This one is over officially. Namar said, how many years does Donovan Mitchell have on his contract? My thinking is if we bring Johnny Bryant, bring Donovan Mitchell next year or the year after. I hate to break it to you, Namar, but Donovan Mitchell has like 1,000 years left on his deal. He just signed a big contract extension with Cleveland. He's not going anywhere. He's staying with Cleveland for the foreseeable future, my man. AP said, if you can look up, they want to know how many years Donovan Mitchell has on his deal. He has 1,000 years left on his deal. He just signed a contract extension. That was a big story of last offseason, guys. He signed a huge contract extension. I can look it up for you. Donovan Mitchell contract. Signed a 3-year contract in 2024, so includes a player option in 27-28. So he won't be available in 2 seasons at the earliest, and he has that player option, so 3 seasons, likely. Two minutes to go. We're almost done here. Yak said, how about off-ball pick to get a player open for Brunson to pass? That's what I'm saying, Yak. They ran very little off-ball movement. Like, you got a great off-ball mover in Mikal Bridges, and you have the guy standing in the corner doing nothing. Offense was horrible this year. And offense has been, in terms of offensive ingenuity, has been terrible since Tom Thibodeau arrived because he's not an offensive guy. His offenses are good because he tends to have brilliant one-on-one players like Derrick Rose, like Jimmy Butler, like Jalen Brunson. And so that's why he has good offenses. He doesn't have good offenses because he develops a good offensive system for his players to play under. David said, what kind of system do we need to play? it's going to be a mix. An offensive system needs to take advantage of your players' best attributes. The Knicks' best attribute is Jalen Brunson isolation. But it's not the only thing that he does well and that the team can do well. Karl-Anthony Towns was never utilized, one, as a spacer, but two, as a off-ball threat, right? Karl-Anthony Towns, when he was in Minnesota, ran off screens a decent amount as a 7-foot center. That is difficult to keep up with, right? And oftentimes it was used as a decoy, but sometimes it can get you an open three for him. But oftentimes it was used as a decoy, and a lot of attention, kind of like Steph Curry. If Karl-Anthony Towns, who's a 42% three-point shooter, is running off a screen, hey, I'm going to have to pay attention to that, right? I'm going to have to get a lot of attention towards that way when the 7-footer is coming over for a three. So some off-ball movement would be nice for him, for OG Anunoby, who had very little off-ball movement as well. The most we did with OG Anunoby was find him in early offense where he had a mismatch and he would look to post him up. And it's like, okay, man, I think OG Anunoby can do more than stand in the corner and occasionally post up. Right? Mikal Bridges almost never ran pick and roll, even though that's almost exclusively what he did when he was with Brooklyn. And had him standing in the corner a lot and never ran him off of threes all too much. You know? Like, there's a lot that the team can do and implement. It's going to come down, obviously, to the coaching staff to figure out what best suits them. But it's going to take a lot of experimentation, and that was the biggest issue with Tom Thibodeau. Didn't experiment one bit during the regular season. Didn't experiment whatsoever. Not with the players, not with the rotations, not with the offensive system, not with the play calling or anything like that. He ran what he likes to run. Damn who was on the court, you know? So. Michael Brown, what's up, Michael Brown? Need to cut Precious Achiuwa campaign. They don't have to cut anybody, Michael Brown, because their contracts are up. They are free agents, my man. Just that's a terrible game, but the Pacers got their one. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't exciting in that the game was close. Pacers kind of held them at arm's length majority of the night. But Pacers, the Thunder play a fun brand of basketball, right? It's defense first, and their defense leads their offense, which is one of my favorite sayings. But just that said, ref's not really a factor. Not at all. When it's a blowout, hard to be a factor when it's a blowout. Yeah, I said Celtics live off of off-ball picks to get open catch and shoot threes. Yes. There's a lot of off-ball movement with the Celtics offense and a lot of off-ball screening with their offense. One, to get open threes, but two, to get defenses confused in their communication. Right? Like, oftentimes people think like, oh, they're running that play to get this player a specific shot. It's like sometimes I just want the defense confused. Sometimes I just want you confused. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know why I'm setting these random off-ball screens and why we're flaring out and then coming back up and then getting back to the top. Like, sometimes you just don't know, and it causes a lot of confusion as to like, oh, he's going over there. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, no, the screen's actually coming down here. Oh, no, switch that. Oh, stay. No, let me get back. No, because it's gonna be a mismatch. And there's a lot of communication that has to go on in a 3-second span, you know? And all you're waiting for is a communication breakdown. That's all you're waiting for, right, as an offense. And so I think that's kind of been the story of what basketball is becoming in the NBA, where there's a ton of off-ball movement, and all you're looking for is for the defense to miscommunicate one time, right? Because at this point in modern basketball, the goal is to have 5 players who can dribble, pass, and shoot, right? And so if you have a miscommunication one time and Karl-Anthony Towns pops out for the 3, you know, back in the day, you weren't worried about the 7-footer who was out past the foul line, past foul line extended. You weren't worried about, you know, the center being out there. But nowadays, if that's Karl Anthony Towns, if that's Miles Turner, if that's Chet Holmgren, like look at all these players. If that's Julius Randle even. Like look at all these players who with the last 4 teams remaining have bigs who can step out the 3-point line, and even if you close out hard to them, they could hit you with a pump fake and drive by you. You know, they're dangerous at all 3 levels, at all 3 aspects of the game of dribble, pass, and shoot. And all you're waiting is for the defense to miscommunicate and mess up one time, because even if the communication is off and you like have to switch it, well, now you have a mismatch somewhere, and now you can exploit that. And so that's all offenses are really looking for nowadays. And Tom Thibodeau didn't implement any of that into his offense, and that is why he is no longer the head coach of the New York Knicks, and why I think it's unlikely he'll be a head coach of a team again at 67 years old. You know, maybe of a young rebuilding team that thinks that a good head coach can put them on the right track the same way he did with the Knicks organization, which is why I'll always appreciate Tom Thibodeau, but it was time to move on. Yak reminding people of the like button. Appreciate you. Mark Avon, OKC waking up. Yes, they did. Justice's dad said Pacers 14 for 40 from 3. A lot of them were chucks, man. A lot of them were chucks. They hit a lot of threes in the first quarter when it was a close game at the end of the first, and it was something I pointed out and we talked about here in the chat of if the Pacers stop missing some of these wild threes that they're hitting, OKC is going to open this thing up and run away with it, and that's exactly what happened. They stopped hitting some of the wild threes that were hitting. They came back to earth a little bit, and OKC opened it up and never looked back. But that's going to be it, y'all. I appreciate y'all. We will be back for the next game, which is when? The next game is on the 11th, just 3 days from now. What the? Wednesday? We got to wait all the way to Wednesday for the next game? Why does the NBA do this? Why does the NBA do this? 1 day off in between the games is perfectly fine, man. Let's play ball. Roll the ball out. We don't need 3 days in between each of these games. Anyway, the next game is Wednesday. 8 o'clock start time, I assume. Or is it 8:30? It's on ABC, obviously. 8:30 start time on Wednesday. So that's when we'll see each other next. And then when these finals are officially over, we'll start talking about some off-season content. We also have the draft coming up, so we'll probably do the finals, then take a bit of a break as I set some things up behind the scene. We'll come back to do the NBA draft, and then we'll take some time off again, and maybe we'll come back and do some summer league stuff, and then we'll do some prep for and when the Knicks eventually hire a head coach, we'll do a special live stream the same way we did when Tom Thibodeau was fired. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So after that, appreciate y'all. I'll catch you on the next one. But until then, remember, stay hydrated. Brush your teeth before bed. And get a good night's sleep. I'll catch you on Wednesday. I'm out, guys. Good night, everybody. Bye.